Alright, bud, take a nice big deep breath here. Give your seatbelt a little tug. Take a breath, focus. Let's just play the game today.
And a very pleasant good evening. Welcome to DRTV's live coverage of the FTF 160 tonight at the Pocono Raceway, race number 14 for the Sim Racing Association's flagship 711 Super Truck Series here tonight at Pocono. Thrilled to have you all aboard here along for the ride. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with Todd Stanton and Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. As always, I'm with the DRTV control booth. And man, Todd, it's been a while since we come back to Pocono, and you look up and down this list here of drivers we have here this evening. It is a star-studded, loaded field from top to bottom, and 64 laps around Pocono tonight. I think we're going to be in for one fantastic show if this strength of field is any indication whatsoever.
It's definitely a star-studded field here. We got drivers from old NASCAR 2003. Now, when I say old, they haven't been on in a very long time. They're going to have to shake the cobwebs off and race here at Pocono Raceway. I tell you, Phil, if they return to form, they're going to give Derek Justice a run for their money here tonight. There's some new guys here, newcomers to this series in this evening, and of course your regular 7-Eleven series guys. They're actually running in the series each and every week. So it's a star-studded field.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, the star-studded from top to bottom. The point leader, Brandon Lawson's in the house. Derek Justice, two-time most previous winner, Jason Justice. All those guys in the house tonight. It's a star-studded list we'll get to here as we get this broadcast unfolded and on the air. But let's, for the first time tonight, introduce our buddy, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton. As always, on the controls of DRTV. And, man, Rich, I know it's been about a week since we've been on the air. So, great to knock the cobwebs off. And what a better series to come back to. We've seen this SRA 711 Super Truck Series a couple of times here in 2017. It's made for some great racing. And just looking at this field, as we talked about at Pocono here tonight, what a fantastic field of drivers. We are going to be in for one spectacular show this evening.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. This series has put on quite a few good television broadcasts for us here on DRTV, and this is no different tonight. Pocono is the track. It's going to be interesting. 2.5 mile, we call it the tricky triangle here. And looks like they're going to be running 64 laps, but keep in mind this series does a guaranteed green-white checkered finish, so who knows? We could go into overtime laps, as we call it. They get 3 attempts on the green-white checkered. Later on in the broadcast, I'm sure we'll get more details of that spread out for you. Pit road speed's 55 mile an hour tonight. They're running moderate damage, fixed setup, fixed weather. Pit window appears to be between 18 and 22 laps, so we'll see how green flag pit stops plays a part in this tonight. So I'm really looking forward to this one tonight, guys.
Oh, it is going to be one awesome night. They just wrapping up qualifying down there at the Pocono Raceway. Some tremendous lap times being turned here. Taylor Morgan's going to clock in tonight a 57.489, putting him on the pole here this evening. Awesome run by him. And, we talk about these pole awards. It's the XFM pole award for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. Taylor, by way of that pole, I believe this will be his 5th of the year, so that'll lead the series as far as poles go, and no surprise whatsoever. Taylor is always a fast driver. Anytime we see him on the racetrack here, Todd, and I'm blown away by the strength of this field here tonight. I mean, you get the likes of Tom Sylvain in the house, Justin Malello, the FTF champion David Schildhouse making a rare appearance. Brandon Lawson is here. Robert Balcom. I mean, this list on and on. Even our buddy Joe Allen in the field tonight. Our our broadcast partner, going to moonlight as a driver tonight. I mean, just a heavy, star-studded field up and down this thing, Todd. I can't wait to see where 64 laps is going to take us. I mean, Pocono was one of those longer racetracks, so things kind of spread out, but I mean, with the amount of talent we got here tonight, this is going to be for one spectacular race.
Oh, and you keep naming a few that we see each and every week here on DRTV. These drivers that are out here, and like you said, the strength of field, it is a star-studded field. But guys, you can't forget out the guys that I was mentioning that don't race very often, that have come back to NASCAR 2003 to race this race here this evening, like Alan Lewis or even Rob Larkin. Those guys are names that ring a bell in my categories into what has been going on through the years of NASCAR 2003. Those guys are old ringers, and they're knocking off the cobwebs, and they're not going to be no slouches tonight either. I mean, they've raced with David Day and myself for many, many of years, so don't count those guys out. Yeah, they had a poor qualifying run, but they race a lot better than they do qualify.
Oh, absolutely right. And, you know, we can't talk about the SRA 711 Super Truck Series without talking about all these fantastic awards they have here as part of this series. Rich, I'm going to throw that down to you. I think you got that list on the ready in front of you. I know you get a cool graphic up there, but, you know, a lot of the guys here at SRA, so many great companies have stepped up just to be a small part of this series in 2017.
Yes, indeed, we do. We're going to go through this list pretty quickly as we're slowly running out of time here in Happy Hour. The XFM Pole Award is going to be awarded to the driver who runs the fastest lap in qualifying, so we should be able to see who that is already. The Extremes Motorsports Half.com Halfway Challenge, that's going to be the driver who leads the lap at the halfway point in the race, so we'll keep our eyes open for that one. We got another one, Insomniac Sherwin-Williams Fastest Lap Award, awarded to the driver who runs the fastest lap of the entire race. This is going to be interesting to see who's putting times up there. Advanced Carpentry Hard Charger Award. Oh, forgot one. Sorry about that. Skipping one on you. Blue Dreams GFX Lap Leader Award. That's going to be awarded to the driver who leads the most laps in the race. Now we get to the Advanced Carpentry Hard Charger Award. That's going to be awarded to the driver who gains the most positions in the race. And then we've got the Goodies Extremes Headache Powder Award. That's going to be the awarded to the driver with the worst luck in the race. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets that award as well tonight, guys.
Oh, absolutely right. It's really cool of all these names to step up and just be a small part of what has been a fantastic series. All these races for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series all sponsored, and thrilled to have another one here aboard tonight, here live on DRTV. But before we put this thing under the green flag conditions, let's throw this thing trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem. And the national anthem to get us started here tonight, live on the DRL network, the Pocono Raceway, race number 13 for the Sim Racing Association 711 Super Truck Series here. You know, it's been an awesome season. We've seen about 3 or 4 of these races so far on the air, about 1 per month. And, you know, back here in the month of May, here at the Pocono Raceway, what better way, you know, to spend a Wednesday night, a great series. Open to all drivers who may want to come take part. Don't have to be a part of any kind of league or a member of the Sim Racing Association. So if you'd like to come try your talents out, jump into the SRA Team Speak there. And, you know, all information for this series can be found on the SRA website. SimRacingAssociation.com is the home of SRA. SRA home to 10 great leagues, some of the greatest leagues in the NR2-3 community, and also branching out into other things like iRacing, a set of course. I mean, SRA has it all. Check out some some of these great leagues, come be a part of the racing now. SimRacingAssociation.com. It is a great place, Todd. You know, as you and I co-chair, the chairman of the board here of the Sim Racing Association, you know, you see all these great leagues and great guys. I mean, there's such a brotherhood and such a great community we've got assembled over here. A lot of great people.
Definitely a lot of great people, a lot of great leagues, and a lot of great talent here in the Sim Racing Association community. It's expanded out above NASCAR 2003. It's in other forms of a set of course and iRacing and different things. So SRA Sim Racing Association, great to be a part of this event.
Yeah, can't encourage us enough to come check out any of these 10 great leagues or any of the the great racing we're going on over at SRA. But we're about to put this, the SRA 711 Super Truck Series under the green flag conditions, about 30 seconds away from the command to fire engines. So Todd, let's fire straight into our starting lineup. We got a strong field here tonight, 26 trucks.
And now your starting lineup for the FTF 160 from the Pocono Raceway. Starting on the pole, driving the number 36, timing in with a 57.489. That's Taylor Morgans, and his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 31. That's Derek Justice.
Row number 2, we find the 66 of Tom Sylvain. And welcome to DRTV, the 147 of Austin McCandless. Let's go trackside for the indication.
Start your engine.
Inside, row number 3, starting in that 5th starting position, that's the number 5, that's Mr. Excitement David A. And outside of him, driving the number 53 in the 6th starting position, that's Justin Malolo.
Rolling off our number 4 tonight, we find the Team Crush number 166. That is Mr. F4, Blake McCandless, and to his outside, the Bud Light Ford, the number 16, two-time winner here in the series, won the last 2 races. That, of course, Jason Justice.
Next row on the inside, starting that 9th starting position, driving the number 6. He's making a return back to being a driver. That's Joey the Jet, Joe Allen. And outside of him, driving the number 9 in the 10th starting position, that's Frank Divins.
Rolling off of 11th tonight aboard the 121, that is Steve Looney. To his outside in the 40, series winner this year, that'll be Brandon Lawson.
Next row back, starting in the 13th starting position, driving the number 51, that's Alan Lewis, and his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 30, that's Corey Carpenter.
Row number 8 tonight, we find the FTF Series champion for 2016. Rolling off tonight, 15th in the 7, that is David Schildhaus making a rare appearance. And to his outside, heavy hitter in the 118, that of course, Robert Baucom.
17th on the starting grid, driving the number 48, that's Alex Davis. And starting 18th, they're driving the number 26, that's Grant Wesley.
Row 10, we find the 76 of Noah Carmichael, and to his outside in the 96, that is Chris Hartefelax.
Starting 21st on the field, driving the number 17, that's Jeffrey McClintock. And outside him, driving the number 11, that's Theo Segal III.
Rolling off 23rd tonight aboard the number 1, that's our good buddy Bobby Farrell, 23rd. Rolling off 24th tonight in the 078, that's Jeff Groover.
25th, the number 33 of Rob Larkin, and outside of him, driving the number 57, that's Maverick Morrow. That's going to round out our 26 truck field here at the Pocono Raceway. We're about ready to put that hammer down at Pocono Raceway, and the green flag is in the air. The number 36 of Taylor Morgans down the front straightaway. He's out to an early advantage, but not much. Over the 31 of Derek Justice. Justice has been just as quick through in practice on the high side already. It is the 31 of Derek Justice on the top side. The 36 of Taylor Morgan's on the bottom.
Yeah, Taylor Morgan's going to slide out, looks like, to the race lead as they exit turn 1. Of course, Pocono, the tricky triangle off of turn 2. Derek Justice makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Don't think that hurt anything there, but it opens up the door for Tom Sylvain. They're going to be side by side, Todd, through the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Sylvain down on the bottom side, and the number 66 Articat sponsored machine. He's running on the bottom of the 31 of Derek Justice. Justice has a rearview mirror full of the number 6, or the number 5, excuse me, of David Day. That's Mr. Excitement. Then Blake McCandless right now running in 5th, and 6 is the number 6 of Joey the Jet, Joe Allen. These guys putting on one whale of a battle here. It is called the tricky triangle, Phil, and there's reasons for that.
Oh, it certainly is. 3 completely different corners when you come to Pocono. Turn number 1, a kind of a wide angle sweeping type of corner, if you will. You can carry an awful lot of gas there as we go through turn number 1. You see our race leader, Number 36 of Taylor Morgan's choosing to run that through the outside lane. You're going to charge down the long pond straightaway. Here is the exit turn 1, down toward turn number 2, which is called the tunnel turn. You know, it's a very narrow racetrack, probably the toughest turn on the entire circuit. They'll get down hard on the brakes, turn it to the left, you know, kind of hit that single line there through the tunnel, they exit there. Now we enter the short chute, a very short straightaway here as we head toward very tricky turn 3. You got to get hard on the brakes. Guys often will shift down to third gear down through turn number 3 here as you kind of have to get the R's down and try to keep that thing under control. Get back on the gas, a little sweeping turn, and down the longest straightaway in the NASCAR ranks here down this Pocono Raceway. That's just one lap here around the Pocono Raceway. Todd, all chasing Taylor Morgan's as they head toward turn 1. 2 laps up on the board.
Got 2 laps up on the board now. A challenge for that second spot. Once again, Tom Sylvain was running second. Derek Justice dives down to the bottom. Like you said, he's got a rearview mirror full of the number 5 of Mr. Excitement, David Day. David Day trying to see if maybe he can make a 3 wide. I don't think it's a little early for that. As David Day now pushing Tom Sylvain down the chute here. Is the 66 of Tom Sylvain able to edge ahead of the 31 of Derek Justice once again. And it looks like these guys, Phil, it looks like they have to back out just a little bit as they come down into this corner.
Yeah, backing out just an ever little bit here. And I mean, it's early on here, Todd. I think we're going to see a little bit of tire wear here at Pocono tonight as they head down to turn number 2, the tunnel turn. A little bit of contact there between David Day, as that was turn 3. David Day and Derek Justice making contact. Derek hard to the outside wall. You got to think, Todd, there was a little bit of damage done. That's certainly going to kick in out of line. And tough break for Derek Justice coming in tonight, second in the point standings. 2-time winner so far here in 2017.
Yeah, not only was it a tough break for Derek Justice, but Joey the Jet, Joe Allen, was also not on the receiving end of that either. He also pounded the outside wall. He lost 5 or 6 positions also. And that number 6 machine, he was trying to stay off of the guys in front of him. So tough break for Derek Justice and the number 6 of and the number 6 of Joey the Jet.
Yeah, Joe actually dropped from like the top 5, Todd. I think he was 5th or 6th there. He's all the way back to about 14th spot when they hit the start-finish line. So not sure there was much damage done to that, you know, that orange number 6 of our buddy Joe Allen. But he's going to be mired deep in traffic. And you look here through the field, I mean, top 5, I mean, it's heavy hitters alone. Taylor Morgan's, Tom Sylvain, David Day, Justin Malello, Jason Justice, your current top 5. But then you look 6 through 10, you find the likes of Blake McCandless, Brandon Lawson, Corey Carpenter, Frank Dibbins, and Derek Justice now 10. I mean, you're not even touching names like David Schildhouse, Alan Lewis, of course, Joe Allen, Jeffrey McClintock, who's been very solid in this series this season. I mean, those are guys all outside the top 20. They're trying to march forward, but through the strength of this field here, Todd, I think we see a lot of hard racing. Pocono can be a place tough to pass on the long run, so a lot still here to shape out. Was there in the backstretch here, headed down to a tunnel turn?
Yeah, they are heading down towards this tunnel turn down here, and just watching these guys try to make it through. Sylvain, about a car length and a half off your current race leader. That's Taylor Morgan's. And that number 36 machine, third running David Day. And the number 5, he is being caught by that number 16 of Jason Justice in that 4th spot in the number 16 machine. 5th right now is Justin Malolo in that 53. 166 of Blake McCandless is running in that 6th spot. 7th is Brandon Lawson. 8th is Corey Carpenter. 9th is Derek Justice. And right now running out your top 10, like you're saying, David Schildhouse in that number 7 machine. So these guys pretty much stay in single file battle now, heating up for that 5th spot. The number 166 of Blake McCandless down on the bottom once again, trying to get around the 53 of Malello. Malello on the top side, but the 166 of Blake McCandless trying to capitalize, trying to get back inside the top 5.
Race for the lead up front. Here comes Tom Sylvain, going to charge to the low side as they head toward, it looks like turn number 2 there. Tom going to, get hard on the brakes there, try to accelerate down the short stretch, but it looks like Tom Sylvain, Todd, he may peek out to the race lead. That's going to open the door for David Day. He's going to look to the inside of Taylor Morgan's. Can't quite make that run happen through turn 3 as it gets really slippery through there, but that opened the door for the 16 of Jason Justice up high. They're going to be drag racing down this long front straightaway. That's for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Jason Justice side by side with the number 5 of David Day. Also a battle for the lead, almost there, heating up as the 36 Taylor Morgans looked down to the inside momentarily, thought better of it, tucked back inside the number 66 of Tom Salvain. Now Jason Justice able to capitalize coming down here through that turn. The 16 of Jason Justice now to the 3rd spot. 4th is David Day, and 5th is the 166 of Blake McCandless. These guys are jockeying for position pretty good through the top 10.
Yeah, they certainly are. And highlighting that 166 of Blake McCandless. I mean, these guys have been out here practicing for about an hour and a half. And, you know, the Blazing Pedals guys, a lot of these guys ran this track just a little while ago, I believe, in their Camping World Series. So a couple of guys got some laps here. But Pocono typically, guys, a one-groove racetrack. Tire wear becomes key here, a part of the long run. And what better guy that's, you know, probably one of the best out there is saving his tires there, Todd. They don't call him Mr. F4 for no reason. Blake McCandless, a master at saving those tires, and he's starting to pick his way forward as we put 8 laps on the board. So almost halfway through a fuel and tire run, the 166 Blake McCandless, he's found his way to 4th. I'm going to assume he's going to continue to march forward and maybe be a contender for this race in 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, I would think so. Is 166, like we said, McCandless is hanging out right there down in the shirt. It looks like yellow flag is going to fly out there on the speedway. And there was some pretty hot and heavy battles out there, and I believe it was the 26 of Grant Wesley. Wesley was involved in that one. I seen him around the wrong way, and then number 26 truck.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. Something going up amiss aboard the 6 truck is, I'm trying to scroll back through here, and 26 of Grant Wesley, that is, trying to scroll back and see what happened there. I'm having, I don't know if the aliens are trying to come and get me or not here, Todd. I got something I got to work out here, bugs on my end. But nonetheless, first time tonight under the caution flag. But through these first, 8 or 9 laps here under green, quite the racy racetrack we got here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely been real racy. These guys have been jockeying for position in the top 10, and all the time it changes quite a bit. The leads only changed one time there. That was between the 66 of Salvain and the 36 of Taylor Morgans. But the replay is ready. What happened? I'm just as curious as everybody down there in YouTube chat. What happened to the 26 of Grant Wesley there, Rich?
Yeah, you guys called it correct. It is the 26 of Grant Wesley. We're going to keep an eye on him. He's in that black and blue and white truck right in front of that purple truck. As it gets closer, we'll be able to see a little bit better. We'll play this in slow motion. He's getting ready to get down into the corner, and the rear end makes a little bit of contact between him and the purple truck as well. That's going to send the 26 to 57. I believe that's Maverick Morrow that might have made some contact with him, but definitely a little bit of contact there. Sends the 26 up into the wall. He keeps it up by the wall. Everybody else is able to get around him on the bottom side. Didn't look like he hit the wall too hard, but we'll have to tell once he gets down in the pits and gets some repairs done, guys. So tough break for Grant in the 26. Back to you.
Yeah, certainly a tough break for Grant Wesley aboard that number 26. But it's just one of those things, Todd. As the tires start to burn off here at Pocono, things like that happen. And, tough break for Grant as he spun around and under the caution flag for the first time tonight.
Yeah, definitely tough break for those guys. And I'm looking at the chat box. I've been watching a lot of the chat box, and this is going to be the first time I'm going to mention about the chat box. I know we always try to hit out there the chat box. A lot of guys joining us here out there, and you got Judy Divins out there as the pits are starting to get real busy down there, and I believe they're going to take 4 tires. You got Judy Divins joining us once again. J-Rock out there. Mud is out there. Ron Connors is out there. Alana Wood, which... she's out there. You got Jordan Smartass out there. There's some interesting names down here in the chat box here tonight. Nightbach is down there being a little bit destructive with J-Rock. Rick Johnson's out there watching this race. A lot of these guys grabbing some popcorn, watching the race. I believe I even seen the likes of Bob Tompkins Sr. out there once again. I know he's a longtime fan here of DRTV. Always great to see Bob Tompkins Sr., and he's always the earliest. If you can beat Bob Tompkins Sr. to the DRTV chat box, you're doing something good. These guys down on pit road taking 4 tires, basically on the call up and down pit road, and basically the race won off of pit road by the 66 of Tom Salvain, the 36 Taylor Morgans, Jason Justice, and then David Day, and the 166 of McCandless. Those guys off of pit road first.
Now they all set on pit road and off pit road. Sylvain winning that race, just kind of bruising down up and down pit road. Wasn't sure anybody was going to play a 2-tire strategy or not, but it was 4 tires all the way up and down pit road as you would have to assume it'd have to take 4 tires. I mean, it's Pocono. This place can certainly chew them up. So under caution flag for the first time tonight. 10 laps of 64 that are going to make up this main event distance for the FTF. For the fans, 160 tonight, the Pocono Raceway. Race number 13 for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. Of course, we plugged how to find all information for this series, simracingassociation.com. And I can't, encourage anybody who wants to come out and race here on a Wednesday night enough. A great series. So many great drivers a part of this series, and open to all to come and run. Be a part of the SRA and have a great time with these guys. SimRacingAssociation.com. I believe the 4th time, Todd, we've seen this series on the airwaves in 2017. I know we're going to see it a lot more, but you just can't say the praise enough for Jason Justice and all the staff that put these races on. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes. They've accomplished a goal here and put on one fantastic highlight of a series here.
Yeah, it's Jason and those guys have done a fantastic job. Whether it's testing setups, you got Derek who helps test the setups. You got Jason. There's a group of those guys. I've seen Corey Carpenter in there, David Day in there. These guys testing setups, getting ready for these races. There's a lot of stuff that goes in to get ready for this 711 series there, Phil. And it's interesting to see all these guys coming out. You want to get involved, get a hold of Jason Justice, Derek Justin, all that kind of stuff, and get involved and help these guys with these tracks and help these guys with the setups and be a part of the 711 series that way.
Yeah, one guy who's been out there a part of this series tonight, our broadcast partner, our good buddy, Mr. Joey the Jet, Joe Allen, moonlighting as a driver here tonight. Joe, you had a good run going there the first couple of laps, but, a little bit of contact there. Derek in the outside wall set you back further in the field. How's that truck treating you so far?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was a handful out there in practice, but the team made some adjustments to it and went out there and put down one hell of a qualifying run. And I was running up there in what I thought was the top 5 with my teammates, and I think David went up there and made a little bit of contact with Derek, and that got me all out of sorts and shuffled me back to 14th. But gained a couple spots on pit road. We're back in the top 10 here for the restart, I believe, and we're hanging in there. They pulled the fender out a little bit. I didn't really have too much cosmetic damage or anything, so we should be good to go.
Now, we just sang the praises of Jason and Derek and all the guys over here. I know Jeff Gruber, the guys at Insomniac. All these guys have teamed up to put an awesome series here in 2017 for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. But, tell us about this racetrack here tonight. Those guys did a fantastic job. Kudos to J-Rock for all the great work he did. Looks like one very racy racetrack. First, how's the racetrack and how's that setup treating you guys here tonight? Looks like this place is awfully racy.
It's a little unpredictable depending on how you play the draft. It's really tough to pass when you get some laps on the tires. And, if you're tucked up under a guy's bumper and you get some clean air on your nose, it actually gets really, really loose. But, up until that point, it's really fun, though. You guys have seen it. I've been out here in the middle of it. It is really racy. And you can get 2x2 with these guys through 3 and 4, depending on, other guys' braking points and everything. So it's certainly making for some fun, action-packed race. And I'll tell you what, I'm white knuckles on the wheel here, wheeling this thing around the racetrack.
Well, Joe, out there in that familiar number 6, not used to seeing you back on the racetrack here in broadcast conditions. If we remember all the way back to Daytona in February, some partner of ours took that number 6 for a great ride. So that thing's got some prestige in the series, man. It's always fast. So, of course, we're going to be cheering for you up here. So give that thing a good ride. And who knows, maybe we see that thing in victory lane. I know you got the talent to do it. I know you got the desire to do it. So give that thing a good ride, brother. We're cheering for you.
Absolutely, guys. Miss you guys up in the booth. I'll be sure to be out here with you guys on Friday night, and look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right. That's our buddy, our broadcast partner, Joey the Jet, Joe Allen, gracious enough to join a couple minutes here. Guess we can call him our unofficial in-race reporter for us here tonight. Doing a great job, Todd, as always. You were in that number 6 early this season, so good to root on our DRTV buddy out there on the racetrack. Not often we get to go out there, one of us amongst ourselves and amongst our peers, and go out there and race, but cool to see. Good to do that every now and then.
Yeah, definitely cool to see. Definitely to get a different flavor and figure out what's going on with the setup, because we ourselves didn't get a chance to go out there and see what the setup was about tonight, Phil. Of course, I'm always last minute out, running late, and of course I don't race on Pocono very often anymore, and it's tough for me to get out there and not wreck with a good setup. So I'm sure this is a really good setup. So it's just one of those things.
Well, the DRTV pace fan about to make that hard left-hand turn as the field exits turn number 3. They'll, their parade down this front stretch. That'll turn the field over to our race leader, the 66 of Tom Sylvain, the 36 of Taylor Morgans, Jason Justice, David Day, row 2, Blake McCandless, Derek Justice, row 3. Green flag is in the air. We're back racing.
That green flag back in the air. The number 66 of Tom Sylvain down on the bottom side. Halfway leader is going to be on lap number 32 there, Phil. So 64 is the scheduled distance here this evening. So lap 32 is going to be your halfway leader. Jason Justice back down to the bottom side of the 36 of Taylor Morgans as they're coming down the back chute, what I call the back chute. The 16 of Jason Justice trying to get down underneath of Taylor Morgans. Here comes the number 5 of David Day, the Derek Justice into the fray once again. Looks like he's got that wall damage repaired there on the right-hand side. Looks like Derek Justice is going to be a factor once again. But Tom Sylvain pulling away about 3 truck lengths in front of the 36 of Taylor Morgans.
Yeah, he certainly is. And if you watched any of the practice at all, that 66 was certainly a very stout piece, and no doubt about it. He's liking that clean air on the nose. He's starting to pull away just a little bit as they exit turn number 3. Single file for the first 3 positions. The best race on the racetrack, Todd, is for position number 4. Derek Justice has his Ford down low. David Day, the Team Crush Dodge up high, side by side for 4th as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, good race of brewing there for that 4th spot. David Day working over the top side in the number 5 machine. The 31 of Derek Justice down on the bottom side. Blake McCandless into the fray. He is in that 166.66 on the screen. You got the 30 of Corey Carpenter as it looks like David Day going to edge ahead there just a little bit into the top 5 here with that number 5. Derek Justice still working on the bottom side, trying to make the bottom side work, but the outside lane looks like it's faster right now at the Pocono Raceway.
It certainly does look faster, but the question I have for you, Todd, are you abusing more of your tires driving it deep into the outside lane, or do you think, Derek being pinned to the inside, is he using more tire? Looks like the inside lane may be preferred as they exit turn 3, but through the rest of the racetrack, they are, fanned out all over this place, and it looks like 3 wide for the race lead down the front stretch.
Yeah, 3 wide for the race lead, almost 4 wide. David Day thought about it. He backed back out of it and did not make that 4 wide. But we were 3 wide coming down here into turn number 1. Jason Justice was on the bottom side. Tom Sylvain on the top side. The 36 of Taylor Morgans, the benefactor. He was up through the middle. He is now your leader with Tom Sylvain finishing right now in that 2nd spot, fighting for that 2nd spot, I should say. The 16 of Jason Justice was running 3rd. But here comes David Day on the top side once again. He's trying to get around Jason Justice, side-by-side battle.
Yeah, that 3 and 4 wide battle there as they hit the front stretch. That opened the door for the likes of, say, Derek Justice at 31. He's going to pull to the low side of his brother. He's going to pull back in line. The 30 of Corey Carpenter there, that Verizon machine also right in the fray as well. Great racing inside the top 5, but 3 wide through the tunnel turn, Todd. They almost pulled that off. They thought better of it, but can these guys possibly get through the tunnel turn 3 wide?
It could be possible. I've seen some people be able to pull off some difficult passes, and these guys are the caliber of drivers. I think they could pull off 3 wide through that tunnel turn, but hopefully they don't make me eat my words here later on here in this event. Tom Sylvain now pulling up to the rear bumper of Taylor Morgans once again as Morgans drifts up the track just a little bit. Here comes Tom Sylvain back down to the bottom side, and then number 66 machine, David Day right there. Corey Carpenter in that 4th spot. Jason Justice. These guys are all close together. Looks like the edge still to Taylor Morgans in the lead.
Yeah, Taylor has that edge, but I think that fastest truck in that 5-car group up front has to be the 30 of Corey Carpenter. He almost made a move on David Day as they hit turn 1. Had to think better of it because I don't think they were going to complete that corner. I don't think Corey was going to complete that pass, clean as they went through the tunnel turn. As they exit turn 3, the 30 with a great launch there, Todd. I think that 30 may be the fastest truck here in the top 5.
Yeah, Corey Carpenter all over the rear bumper of David Day, pushing him down the front straightaway here, down into turn number 1. It looks like the 30 of Corey Carpenter able to back out just a little bit. David Day now all over the rear bumper of the 66 of Tom Sylvain. Day trying to take over 2nd spot from Sylvain. Corey Carpenter backed off just a little bit. He's about 3 truck lengths behind the number 5 of David Day, but Carpenter is pretty fast here this evening, but David Day owns the fastest time of the race here this evening at the Pocono Raceway so far. David Day on rails, but Corey Carpenter right now is currently the fastest truck on the speedway. Derek Justice, though, Phil, he hit the apron. He fell back once again in that number 31 machine. Pocono Raceway just not being very kind to Derek Justice right now.
No, not at all. But one truck to highlight here to keep an eye on through the latter half of the top 10. The number 40 of Brandon Lawson, he is starting to pick his way forward. About 3 laps ago, he was outside the top 10. He's marched his way to 7th. He was alongside Blake McCandless for 6th off of turn 3. Got a little bit loose now, opened the door for the 31 to come back around that top side, Todd. What a run off of turn 3. Derek almost completing that pass, but that number 40 machine rather, of Brandon Lawson, he's starting to pick his way forward as well.
Yeah, Brandon Lawson moving his way forward in that number 40 machine. It's 31 of Derek Justice, still trying to fight with him. He's now trying to go back down to the bottom side. Great battle between the 40, the 31, the 6, and the 166. And those guys are starting to close in just a little bit. I should say not the 166, the 33 of now making his way into the picture. That's Rob Larkin. Larkin started deep in the field. He started in that 25th starting position. Now he's up inside the top 10, and he is closing on Joey the Jet, Joe Allen, back down to the bottom side. Here comes the 33 of Rob Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin around the Joe Allen machine. He's going to follow the Brandon Lawson machine there. Almost was able to make a pass on him. That's racing for position number 8. Still all clean and squared away up front, single file. The best racing on the racetrack is back through here. Just as we say that, it all is going to break up front here, Todd. Here comes Tom Sylvain, the 66. We may have a race for the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, there was a race for the lead there momentarily. Now the 66, Tom Sylvain, about 2 truck lengths behind the number 36 of Taylor Morgan, the 5 of David Day, giving all kinds of a bumper push. They're playing bumper tag there. The 66 of Salvain still running in that second spot. The 30 of Corey Carpenter right there. The 16 is right there. So these guys bumpering each other, almost looking like a drafting type of track here right now, Phil. These guys playing a little bumper tag.
Well, they certainly are. And hearing these guys during practice, drafting absolutely playing a role here at Pocono tonight with these trucks. They punch a big hole in the air like they typically would at a Daytona or a Talladega, or even at a Michigan at that sort when you come to this sim in the truck physics. So drafting certainly going to be a key here tonight. You may need a little bit of help as far as a dancing partner goes, but what I'm really puzzled here about, Todd, this outside lane, very, very stout here at Pocono here tonight. The way these guys have, grooved this racetrack, they're able to get some tremendous runs up there. I just saw a 38 Corey Carpenter go down the front stretch. Almost had David Day cleared racing for the 3rd spot, but with the resurgence of the outside lane, the 5 able to make that power move around. But like I asked before, how do you think that's managing on their tires charging the outside lane? You think that's an advantage, or you think those guys who may run that top side may pay, they may pay the price here later on in the run?
I don't know. I don't see where that top side is going to wear off their tires that much. I mean, if you're diving in the corner, it's probably going to be the best, your best bet. But I think running the bottom, you're going to see these guys steer clear of the bottom there and try not to wear their tires off. Try not to drive it in deep, because it seems like the setup does push just a tad bit there if you stay on the bottom. So you're going to skid those tires across the surface, and that's going to wear your tires out more than maybe staying on the top side and just letting it sit out there. And I mean, that's just my educated guess. I'm sure I'm wrong, because some of these guys will prove me wrong here this evening.
No, certainly right. And, of course, you're watching the SRA 711 Super Truck Series here tonight. The Pocono Raceway, the FTF 160. The guys at FTF, great enough to join this series here and sponsor this race here tonight. It has all these races in 2017 for this series are all sponsored. So that's a kudos to all these companies out there and all these leagues that have may stepped up to be a part of this series as well. But looks like some issues up front there, Todd. Taylor Morgans may have got into the outside wall through that tunnel turn. He's going to drop a couple of positions there off of turn 3.
Yeah, a couple of positions, and it looks like Morgan's going around there after a little bit of contact, and it looked like it collected a couple of other trucks down the front straightaway. Kind of a slow spin down the front straightaway, so hopefully some of these trucks did not get hurt. But it's a tough break there. I believe somebody, I can't remember what, I seen an orange truck. It might have been even Blake McCandless around in that 166 also trying to stay off of the spinning truck of the 36 of Taylor Morgan. So tough break for Taylor Morgan's and Blake McCandless. I know there's some other trucks there involved. A lot of those guys slowly spinning, and hopefully none of them clip that inside wall. I'm telling you, that pit wall down there, I've hit that quite a few times, and it's ended my night. So hopefully nobody clipped that down there.
No, that's going to put us under caution flag for the second time tonight. Now working lap number 22 of a 64 that make up the main event distance here tonight for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. But, we talk about, Todd, treacherous turn number 3 at Pocono. Doesn't seem like a hardest corner of all, but anybody who's raced this sim a long time, turn 3 at Pocono has almost been one of the most tricky, corners in the entire community here. And, it is real hard. When you miss your mark there, you get in the high lane through those marbles. I can't think of a tougher corner in this game to keep traction through and keep that thing under you. Because a guy like Taylor, a top-notch driver of this community, even guys like him get loose on the top side of that corner.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys get a little bit loose on the top side, and that was a difficult time there for Taylor Morgans. He was already almost all the way around, and then I believe Dave made contact just a little bit, and I know Morgans was trying to save it and trying to keep it underneath of him. But we're going to go to the replay. Mr. TV Time Rich Patton's got that queued up. Rich, show us what really happened out there.
Yeah, guys, you said it. We're going to keep the cameras focused on the number 36 of Taylor Morgans. Looks like he got a little bit loose in the corner and did one heck of a job trying to save it, but unfortunately he came down a little bit into the 5. It looks like the 5 and the 36 are going to make a little bit of contact. That's going to send Taylor up into the outside wall. He tries to save it off the wall, bounces it off of there, gets a little bit sideways on him. He's trying real hard to save it, almost saves it, but next thing you know, you said that right, the 166 also got into him. That's McCann. That's going to spin the 36 down on the inside, and we'll go ahead and play this out in full motion because everybody's kind of scattering, and there's the 166 and the 36 making contact one more time. So tough break for your pole sitter today, Taylor Morgans. He's definitely going to have some damage after this one, guys. Back up to you.
All right, so put us under yellow flag the second time tonight here at the Pocono Raceway. Long caution flags here at Pocono, Todd. It's one of these racetracks here when the yellow flag comes out. We get some time to talk to some of these guys, so let's see. Who do you think we should grab here for an interview?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking. I know Rob Larkin. I was hearing some in-race communication that he had a huge shout out here tonight, and he would like to be pulled up here. So try to get Rob Larkin. He's not on TV a lot, so let's get Rob Larkin on the horn. It'll be an interesting interview for you, Phil.
All right, well, let's see if we can't get Rob Larkin up here in the broadcast booth. Not sure what we're getting into here, but we'll see if we can't get a word with the driver from the 33. Rob Larkin, Phil LaCasse, DRTV, buddy. Got a copy.
Hi, Flan.
How you doing there, my friend? Been a long time since we've seen you here live on DRTV. One of the few occasions you get behind the wheel, and you get a fast hot rod here tonight out there in that number 33, the orange truck. We know that thing's fast, but how's the driver out there knocking the rust off? So far, seems like having a good run of it.
Yeah, every once in a while, David Day, he gets me out of the rocking chair, and I get out here and try to show him how it used to be. But, so really my whole goal is just to try to beat David Day, but I didn't realize how fast he was. So I think we're going to have a tough go at it, but that's the whole goal. As long as I beat him, he's usually good to step on it about once a race. So as long as I can get past him, I'll be happy.
Oh, absolutely right. Well, it's certainly cool to see you on the racetrack. It's been a long time since we've seen you here. We know you pick and choose where you race now. You don't race a lot in this sim whatsoever anymore. But talking about this SRA 711 Super Truck Series, the list of names you see here in this field here tonight, it's an impressive list. I mean, a guy like you may have some rust. It's got to be at the top of your game to compete with these guys like this. It's got a lot of heavy hitters here.
Yeah, well, like they say, it's like riding a bike, right? You kind of don't forget. So we started at the back, and we just kind of drove for the first half there, and just we've been saving, and we're lucky to get through. We have a good pit stall with an opening in front of us, so we've actually gained quite a bit on pit road. But yeah, it's nice to see some of the older names in here, like Allen and even David Day and Schildhouse, and there's a bunch of guys who've been doing this for a long time. So it's really nice to come into one of these races and see some of those old names and kind of, get that competitive edge back. And it's nice to race with these guys because, the game's been out since 2003. So, a lot of these names have been around since then. And it's cool to get out here every once in a while.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see the list of names that come out here tonight and, be a part of the works here we see week after week on DRTV. So this sim been around for a long time, as you said, still alive and kicking with some of the best drivers you can see out there. But Rob, I was given a note here that you had a special shout out you wanted to give here, so let me give you the microphone to you there and give you a shout out and say whoever you'd like whoever you'd like to say hello to out there.
Oh yeah, it was just wanted to give a shout out to David Day. That was my special shout out. Just let him know I was coming for him. But really, I should give a shout out to the guys who made this race happen. Like special thanks to Maverick. I think he paid for the broadcast, and Justin sponsoring the race, and all the guys who take care of the series. You know, it's nice of them to let me come out here and kind of invade it every once in a while, right? So I really appreciate that. And like I said, the whole goal is just to beat the 5. I don't care if we finish 16th and 17th. As long as I'm 16th, I'll be happy. So.
Well, that is an awesome sentiment there, Rob. But once again, buddy, it's been a while since we had you on the airwaves, so good to catch up with you. Give that 33 a good ride. It's a good buddy of ours. That's Martin's truck. We all know Martin well. So give that thing a good ride and have some fun out there. You embody the spirit of what SRA is all about for guys to come in, find a race, and hang out and have a good time. So have some fun here, man, and good luck the rest of the night. Good to catch up.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the night.
Well, that could be a possibility as well. That's our buddy Rob Larkin Jr. there, Todd. Been quite a long time since we talked to Rob. You know, he's been around this community for a long time, like so many of us have. And cool to see some of these old names get out here and mix it up as part of the series.
Yeah, it's interesting to see some of these guys out there. It's great to see a lot of different guys out there, new faces that don't race as much as they used to. And a lot of different things. But our current race leader is David Day at number 5. Second, Tom Salvain, Jason Justice, and Derek Justice, and all Justice, second row there. So just Derek Justice in 4th. 5th is Rob Larkin. 6th is Justin Malolo, our series sponsor here tonight. I should say the track sponsor for tonight, Pocono Raceway. Then Joe Allen, David Schildhaus, Brandon Lawson, and Alan Lewis. That rounds out your top 10. Jeffrey McClintock, Maverick Morrow, Alex Davis, Jeff Gruber, and Frank Dibbins. That's your top 15. Robert Balcom, Noah Carmichael, Grant Wesley, Steve Looney, Chris Harder-Felix. That's your top 20. 21st is Bobby Farrell, Corey Carpenter, Blake McCandless, Austin McCandless, Taylor Morgans, and Theo Segal. That is your 26 truck field. Pace van takes its hard left-hand turn, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Green flag's in the air. We are back to racing here at Pocono Raceway once again. This time, David Day has about a half a truck length advantage coming down the front straightaway. But again, that high groove has been the fastest groove here at Pocono Raceway. Can David Day do anything with the bottom? Nope. He's going to go up to the top side. That hard swing to the top. That puts David Day up to the top side. But here comes Jason Justice fighting back down to the bottom in that number 16.
Yeah, but the 5 looks to be wound up as they exit turn 1. Does he have the momentum to carry that speed and maybe get back in line here? This tunnel turn here at Pocono at the end of the Long Pond straightaway. It is, it's a very narrow turn there as they head toward turn 2. David's going to stay clear of the traffic, but it is side-by-side racing for second. Jason Justice to the bottom. Tom Sylvain up high. Add the 31 of Derek Justice. You got a big old gaggle of trucks there, Todd, all on top of each other as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, they're all on top of each other, trying to better one another here through turn number 3 and down the front straightaway, Long Pond straightaway here for the number 5 of David Day. He is about five truck lengths ahead. The 66 is running second. Is yellow flag going to fly once again here, Phil, at the Pocono Raceway?
Yeah, and I'm seeing at least one truck around, and looks like the Blake McCandless machine may be around in turn number 3. Not sure if there was contact out there. See a couple of trucks moving away, but it's tricky. Turn number 3 again. You get on the brakes here in turn 3. You can lock them up. You get the back end loose. You get stuck with the outside wall, and having that all happen in the middle of traffic there, Todd. It's got to be the toughest turn in all this community that we see year in, year out. I mean, I've been racing here in this sim for a long time, just as you are. I can't think of another corner that's caused more carnage through the years than turn 3 at Pocono, and it's gobbled up a few more here.
Well, I can think of a few corners and some select places like Watkins Glen, turn number 1. I've seen some stacked up there, 32 truck field being wrecked there into turn number 1. So, I know I have to agree with you, turn 3. But I also have to say some other tracks like Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen is one of those tracks that just turn 1. I know you've seen the tire barrier. I've seen the tire barrier. I've seen the wall. I know you've seen pretty much every sand trap around there too. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton for the replay.
Yeah, guys, this time we're going to keep the cameras focused on the 166 of Blake McCandless as he gets into that treacherous number, turn 3. And tough break. You know, everybody's going, we'll play this at full speed, and then we'll go ahead and slow it down. You can see right there the 96 is coming on strong. 96 nose dives. He locks them front brakes up, tries to keep off the 166. McCandless is able to hang on to it a little bit, but it wiggles a little on him, puts him up by the wall. Next thing you know, it's coming around on him right in front of everybody. The 96 and the 166 are able to keep it up in there. The 96, Chris Hartofelax and McCandless both up against the wall. Everybody else is able to get by them on the bottom side, so tough break again for McCandless. Back to you guys.
All right, so under caution. Caution flag number 3 today. 28 laps in of 64 that make up the distance here. But, you know, as we said, Pocono, long caution flags allows us to, you know, get to talk to some of these drivers. So let's see if we can't talk to the man in charge of the SRA 711 Super Truck Series and also a 2-time series winner. Back-to-back winner, last 2 races out. That's, of course, our buddy in the Bud Light Ford, the 16 of Jason Justice up here in the booth with us. Jason, Phil from DRTV, buddy. You get a copy?
Sure do.
Jason having a good run out there so far through the top 5. This Pocono track seems to be awfully racy this evening. I'm sure you agree.
Definitely. I've already seen 3 wide a few times. It seems like the middle groove is dominant in some places. Then it seems like the bottom is a place you want to be on other places. So it's definitely a strategy game when it comes to the draft. You want to position yourselves where you're in next to the outside wall on the straightaway so you can get a nice run and get inside position on somebody, but then you want to hopefully clear them before you exit the corner or you're going to get freight trained when you get back onto another straightaway. So it's definitely a chess game. It kind of reminds you of plate racing of sorts, but you definitely got to lift here and make sure you hit your marks and be just as racy and be there at the end.
Now, Jason, as a guy who's been around a long time, just like all of us have, you know, Todd and I were talking amongst ourselves. In this sim, I think back of all the years, I can't think of another corner that's gobbled up more vehicles than turn number 3 at Pocono. Probably one of the most toughest turns we see through the circuit here as we through this sim over the years and all these tracks. Do you agree with that? And what do you think makes turn 3 at Pocono so much tougher than a normal corner we would see?
It's flat as heck. You always want to set up your truck to carry speeds down these long straightaways, but you don't want to sacrifice too much in the other corners. So you always want to carry as much speed you can through the corners that have the most banking, like turns 1 and 2. So you can set up for passes, but because turn 3 is so flat, it makes handling even that much more of a premium. And if you get just the slightest bit loose, I saw with my brother who was trailing me a couple of cautions ago, he got loose on the inside while he was under me, and he lost 2 or 3 spots just going down the front straightaway alone because he lost all that momentum. And you're just overshooting turn 3 or going in too hard or not getting in hard enough, it means that you could be losing 2 or 3 spots before the rest of the lap is finished.
No, you're absolutely right on the money about that. Well, Jason, as I look up and down the list here, 2-time winner of the series this season. It's the last 2 races out. You won at Charlotte here a couple of weeks ago. Most previous race at Dover, you went to victory lane. Looks like you broke up a string of 3 in a row from Maverick Morrow here a few weeks ago. Can Jason Justice make it 3 in a row here tonight? I mean, we got a strong field here of this SRA 711 Super Truck Series. You're going to be thrilled with that, but can that 16 go to victory lane for the 3rd week in a row?
Well, I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch, but we're definitely in a good position right now. We're looking at that halfway lap of lap 32, and if we can get a good restart here and challenge Data for that top spot, we'll accomplish one of the goals here and try to get that halfway point or that halfway award. And as long as we can keep it up front there and play the draft to our advantage, we'll be in position to try to go for 3 in a row, but got to be there to the end.
No, absolutely right. Well, Jason, give that thing a good ride here tonight. You're always in the front of one of these things, so no surprise at all you're going to be a contender when this thing is out in about 30-something laps or so. So thanks again for a couple of words. I know you got your hands full at the controls. I've raced in this series too. You do a fantastic job with it. So kudos to all you guys over here. What a fantastic series, and you're going to be tickled to death with the strength of field we see here tonight. So I'll let you get back to it, but good luck the rest of the night, my friend. If I know anything at all, I'm pretty sure we'll probably talk to you again before the night is out.
Love to hear from you again. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Jason Justice, the driver of the 16 here man at the controls here, Todd, does an awesome job admitting this series week after week. Does so much work behind the scenes, and the product shows in itself. He's put a fantastic product together here. The staff at the SRA all rally around, do a fantastic job putting this series on week after week. It is a destination series. If you haven't been a part of this SRA 711 Super Truck Series yet here, Todd, you want to be a part of it. I know I have. I know you have. I mean, you can't say enough good things about the quality we got here.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about the quality here in the Sim Racing Association. The things that have been going on for the 711 series, all the admins, everybody that's got together, Fast Eddie Lee, Ed Stancliffe, Groover, Jason Justice, Derek Justice, all these guys, all these admins, all the people that have helped these guys along. The series sponsor, Justin Malolo here, or not the series sponsor, for the race sponsor here tonight. Keep calling him the series sponsor, but I know Maverick Morrow has been sponsoring quite a few of these broadcasted races, but the 53 tonight being driven by Justin Malalo. He sponsored the race tonight, him and the FTF for the FTF 160. So those guys did a fantastic job coming aboard for this race here. And this track is closer to me than it is Watkins Glen. So this is one of the tracks that I've been to multiple times. So it's going to be interesting to happen. And I'm not sure what happened. Looks like the 16 of Justice down into the wall. I'm not sure. Something going awry on his machine?
Not quite so sure. He was going to restart in the inside of the first row. David Day choosing the outside lane. So not sure if the aliens have come picked out Jason or something going and missed there. So we'll have to see. He gets that thing pointed in the right direction. But before they go green, a shout out to our friend Mr. Eddie Lee, who's out there rehabbing from an accident. He does a lot of work behind the scenes for this series as well. So, Eddie Lee, if you're out there watching, buddy, we're all thinking of you. And Todd, we're under green flag conditions.
Yeah, green flag. We're back on green flag conditions, and we had sort of like the missing man formation here coming down into turn number 1. Here is Jason Justice not available for the front row there. David Day, now your current race leader with a 53, and Justin Malolo to the top side.
Yeah, Malolo coming up to the top side, as you said, looking, David Day trying to run that bottom lane. Looks like he's going to make that move work down the backstretch. Also, teammate Rob Larkin is right there as well. Malolo third, Joe Allen fourth. I mean, it's a sea of orange at the front of this field as they hit the tunnel turn.
And Brandon Lawson running in that 4th spot in the number 40 machine. He's doing pretty well. Joe Allen is in the 5th spot in the number 6 machine as Brandon Lawson running 4th. 6th now is the 17 of Jeffrey McClintock. Look at McClintock now into that 6th spot. But it's interesting to see what's going to happen here with the number 6 of Joey the Jet, Joe Allen. Is now the 53 of Justin Malolo bounces off the outside wall down the front straightaway. That's going to kill some of his momentum. Here comes Brandon Lawson down to the bottom side, but yellow flag is going to fly once again here at Pocono Raceway. And I hear somebody has one airborne.
Somebody certainly went airborne. I didn't see from my vantage point who it was, but a wild ride there as well. But updating the Jason Justice situation, alien abduction there, Todd. We've talked about that before, hoping the aliens didn't like that interview way too much there with Jason, but looks like he's fallen out of this race and going to have to reconnect his way. So he's going to restart deep in the field when he gets back involved. But it looks like the 51 of Alan Lewis involved in this caution, amongst many others. Looks like Blake McCandless also getting a piece of the tore-up racetrack. So tough break for these guys as they hit the halfway point.
And I think Blake McCandless has been a part of 3 different yellow flags here this evening. That's not what he wanted to do. He's one of those tired conservative guys, and now he's got a truck full of damage there. Tough break for Blake McCandless and all the other trucks that were involved in that one, Phil.
Yeah, certainly a tough break. So it's going to put us on our caution flag for the 4th time tonight. Now, as we've seen at Pocono here over the years before, cautions breeding cautions, especially as they get through the tricky part of the racetrack. The tunnel turn always treacherous. Turn number 3, we talked about that all night long with this flat racetrack, but a lot going on there, Todd. But Rich, believe you're ready with the replay, so let's start with down to you.
Yeah, guys, we caught part of that on the live camera. Not sure who saw that or not a little bit earlier. It looked like it was going to be horrible, but it actually wasn't as bad for many, but terrible for one. We're going to keep the cameras focused on that 166 of Blake McCandless. And looks like Taylor Morgan's makes a little bit of contact. Also going to get in touch with Lewis. Morgan's right there in the red and white truck, bounces it off the wall, hits the yellow truck. That's going to be Lewis. He's going to tag the 166. 166, you guys see what's coming right there. Them white or them yellow water barrels, not going to be good. We're going to back this up just a little bit and let you see this in full speed. The 166 comes in and hits it right on the door. Holy cow. Look at them barrel rolls going back up on the track. So bad it knocked him back a good city block back up the track. Blake McCandless is going to be out of this event. We're going to have to check on him in the infield care center, make sure he didn't get injured off of that one, because he definitely took one heck of a wallop. Back to you guys.
No, he certainly did a big hit there at the edge of the pit wall, and man, I'm sure Blake is dejected, but what a hard hit there, Todd. I can't recall a truck hitting that hard at Pocono, but you talked about that pit wall. It's like the fluffy snow. That wall, it's not soft.
Yeah, the fluffy snow. There's no snow here tonight, but there's supposed to be water barrels, so and it doesn't seem like that helped them either. And that's supposed to cushion the blow to that wall. And unfortunately, Blake McCandless, there's no cushioning to that wall with the water barrels. The water barrels done nothing. As these guys down here on pit road, once again getting tires. Halfway leader, halfway on lap number 32 was David Day in the number 5. Rob Larkin was second. So these guys taking some tires. Fresh Goodyear Eagles, 4 tires is the call on David Day's machine. And it was, I believe, that looks like the 51 of Alan Lewis with a 2-tire strategy to go up front.
I think I saw that too, but interesting play there, because I believe he may have been a part of the caution flag, so he's just going to be, by way of penalty, have to fall to the tail end of the longest line. So strange thinking there as far as going about a 2-tire pit stop. But, you know, we talk about this, the half.com, halfway leader remark there. That was led by David Day, so he gets that halftime point there for leading at the half.com break. And half.com, one of the great sponsors that have stepped up here as part of this great series in 2017. Hats off to Frank Dibbins. He does a lot with this series too, sponsors a lot of these awards. So Frank, thanks for all you do here for this series. One fantastic series we have here for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series. Slowed by 4 caution flags here at Pocono, Todd. So one guy I want to highlight here, currently second place on the racetrack. Not sure he's quite yet come to pit road. The very first time on DRTV for Austin McCandless. We know Blake a long time. Austin he's raced less than 10 races an entire.
Oh, it looks like we've lost Phil as he was trying to highlight McCandless there. Austin McCandless. So 10 races is what I was talking about with Blake here earlier in the going. 10 races that he has ever officially ran, and he's having a good run here in that machine. But Phil, Austin, 10 races, and running with the best of the best here and doing really well. What do you think about that one?
I was trying to touch on that, Todd. Qualified 4th in less than 10 races in online racing with the field here. Some of the heaviest of hitters we've seen here through the years. Hats off to Austin McCandless, currently sitting up there in the 2nd spot. I guess you could consider him a rookie, Todd, with less than 10 starts on his belt. What a place to come cut your teeth in with this series at Pocono. Hats off to Austin McCandless. And he's having a good run. He's kept that thing clean so far and getting that precious experience behind the wheel.
Yeah, definitely keeping it clean in that number 47 machine, the Square D sponsored machine. It's great to see how he's doing here and cutting his teeth at Pocono Raceway. It's one of the tracks I probably would not have chosen to make my debut here in the 711 series, but he's out there motoring around, and that McCandless name, I'm telling you, comes a long way here in the NASCAR 2003 community. You got Austin McCandless, you got Blake McCandless, and you also got Phil McCandless. A lot of names here that McCandless they've been in NASCAR 2003 for many, many years.
No, they certainly have, and great to see Austin aboard here tonight. But just highlighting this SRA 711 Super Truck Series, race number 14 on the season here tonight, and I believe Rich is going to flash up our current point standings. Brandon Lawson coming in tonight as our point leader. Derek Justice, Jason Justice, Jeffrey McClintock, and Maverick Morrow, a 3-time winner, rounding at your top 5. Corey Carpenter, David Day, Justin Malello, Matt Watkins, and Taylor Morgan's currently 10th in the point standings. You can check out all these great point standings, guys, and all the information for this series. SimRacingAssociation.com is where you find all the links for this series. And, of course, come be a part of this, man. I mean, I can't, just praise this series enough. All the great work these guys do. Open to all to come be involved in, fantastic racing like we see here tonight. But highlighting some of the previous winners here for this season here in this series. Going back to Daytona, Corey Carpenter was a race winner there, followed by Brandon Lawson taking down the win at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matt Watkins claiming the checker flag at Las Vegas. David Day with an improbable win here a couple months ago when they rolled into Phoenix. Brandon Lawson picking up the win at the Auto Club Speedway, his second win of the season. They moved to the Martinsville Speedway. Taylor Morgan's picked up his first win of the year. Matt Watkins picked up his second victory at Texas. Derek Justice clicking into the win column at Bristol. Then Maverick Moro goes on a 3-in-a-row pace, winning Richmond, Talladega, and Kansas respectively before they moved to Charlotte here a couple of weeks ago, where Jason Justice took down his first of 2 wins, picking up another win the following week at the Dover Downs International Speedway. So that just brings you up to speed. A lot of heavy hitters have come to victory lane here, Todd. And you look to the top of the point standings. Guys like Jeffrey McClintock yet to go to victory lane here this season. Justin Malello, heavy hitters in the series. You can't imagine these guys go the entire regular season of this entire series, but at least punching their ticket to victory lane at least one time.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys that you think would be able to punch that ticket and get to that Super Truck chase here. That's all part of the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series. And again, these guys, there's guys here that have not had wins that it's impressive that they have not even had one win or even been contending for a win. That just shows you the strength of field here for the SRA 7-Eleven Truck Series. And these guys put on a whale of a show, getting ready to go back to green flag racing once again, Phil. And hopefully these guys got the jitters and the bugs worked out, because caution flags are a long time here at Pocono Raceway. They decided that they want to clean up hot and heavy here. Pace van pulls down, and green flag is in the air. Corey Carpenter and the 47 of Austin McCandless, they are your front row. Here comes the 51 of Alan Lewis, way down to the bottom side in that Dollar General Toyota.
Like a straight-up G to the inside comes that 51. Does he make it 3 wide as they hit turn 1? Looks like he'll fall back in line. Big check up there, about 6th place on back. David Day, hard on the brakes. They're 3 wide for about 5th off of turn 1.
Yeah, I was watching Derek Justice in the meat in the sandwich, kind of. It looks like Austin McCandless was not the benefactor of that one. He slams the wall just a little bit. Derek Justice still trying to fight back, but here comes Alan Lewis back down to the bottom side once again. There, side by side, imaginary door handle to imaginary door handle. Great battles going on throughout the field behind this even. So many battles on the racetrack right now, Phil. There's not enough time to cover, but we're going to go 3 wide once again here. Here comes the number 40 machine of Lawson down on the bottom side. This time, Alan Lewis was in the middle. He lost many positions. His momentum has been killed. He is now losing 3 or 4 positions. Here comes David Day and the 33 Rob Larkin once again down the front straightaway.
Another guy who's made way through that 3 wide, hiccup there through turn 3 last time around. The 17 of Jeffrey McClintock, he's picked his way up to position number 4. He's going to be alongside that 31 of Derek Justice. They're going to be side by side for the 3rd spot off of turn 1.
Yeah, looking for that 3rd spot as I'm going through the field. I've been scattering through the field here and just seeing where everybody was. But it looks like here comes Derek Justice down to the bottom side. He's trying to fight with the number 40 machine. That is Brandon Lawson for that 2nd spot. But here comes, I believe that's the number 53 machine. It is. That is Justin Malolo to the top side once again. You got the number 6. Or the number 5, excuse me, of David Day once again on the top side. He's trying to fight it off, and here comes David Day, hard charging to the way outside. He's trying to make a 3 wide down the front straightaway. Justice and Malolo touch. Here comes David Day way up to the top side, and Justice going to lose a couple of positions. These guys, it looks like a freight train on the top side down the front straightaway here at Pocono Raceway.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they'll go back to 2 wide formation as they hit turn 1. But David Day, with help from Rob Larkin, just speeding up that outside lane, all chasing our race leader, the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Brandon Lawson has found his way to 2nd, but the battle going on is about that latter part of the top 5 there. Derek Justice, Alvin Lewis bouncing off the outside wall, spreading out that entire field. But that's great racing all over this Pocono Raceway. The field is in turn 2.
David Schildhouse, a guy that we haven't talked a lot about here this evening. He is making some moves now. He's in that 6th spot. He was trying to battle for 5th with Justin Malello. Now a race for 2nd. Starting to heat up once again. David Day down on the bottom side. The number 40 machine of Lawson on the top side.
Lawson up in that top lane. We saw the top side been fast all night long. David Day not able to make the bottom line work. He's got teammate Rob Larkin going to shove him through the low side as they hit turn 1. What line's going to prevail? Now the 33 going to ditch that 5 machine, pull out the middle lane. Almost 3 wide there. Almost a little bit of peekaboo as they head to turn 1. We'll let Todd get sorted out there. His action through turn number 1 down the Long Pond straightaway starting to heat up. All chasing Corey Carpenter, the best race on the speedway, certainly for position number 2. David Day going to complete the pass of Brandon Lawson. He's going to be on the attack of Corey Carpenter for our race lead. They're going to be side by side down the Long Pond straightaway. So they're going to work their way. We'll try to get Todd sorted out as they hit turn number 3. Looks like Day going to sprint out there to the race lead. Rob Larkin going to be right there in tow. Corey Carpenter drop kick to the outside lane. Side by side all the way back through the latter part of the top 5. Justin Malello is there. Brandon Lawson also there. Put the G. Alvin Lewis, that 51. He's also there. And how about the run for David Schildhouse? That number 7. He is currently 7th. And Maverick Morrow looking at that number 57 machine, that black and purple machine. He's worked his way now up to position number 8. These guys hot and heavy all over this Pocono Raceway, all chasing David Day now as they head toward the tunnel turn. Still trying to get Todd on the horn. Todd having some mechanical difficulty, so we'll see if we can't carry the action here at the Pocono Raceway. The SRA 711 Super Truck Series here, live on DRTV here on the DRL Network, the home of DRL Network, DRLnetwork.com. Check out our broadcast rates and our full schedule there. The rates custom fit to fit all your league's needs. No league too big or too small. Get Todd, Rich, myself, and even Joe, if he's available, to come over and showcase all the great action, just like we have here for the SRA here tonight. The Sim Racing Association, race number 14 for the 711 Super Truck Series here at the Pocono Raceway, currently being led by a sea of orange. David Day with the race lead aboard that number 5. The 33 of Rob Larkin there, a Team Crush teammate, currently 2nd. Corey Carpenter currently 3rd. Brandon Lawson 4th, and Justin Malello, he's going to round out your top 5. The field is in the backstretch, headed toward the tunnel turn. So this updating through this series as we look at the racing action on the racetrack as we await, Todd to hopefully get himself, back with us here, having some, he would call an alien abduction. Todd having some issues on his end, but updating our Super Chase standings as these guys currently sit officially halfway through the regular season here for the Super Truck Series. Maverick Morrow currently going to sit with that first seed on the strength of 3 wins. Brandon Lawson, Jason Justice, Matt Watkins going to be tied for that 2nd seed, all with 2 wins apiece. Derek Justice, Corey Carpenter, David Day, and Taylor Morgans, those 4 drivers with 1 win apiece. Those guys have locked their way into the Super Chase. It's going to be like the old school NASCAR style chase. They take the top 16 guys, a race automatically gets your way in. Looking at guys outside of that cutoff line, currently 9th and locked in with a 167-point buffer is Jeffrey McClintock 9th. Justin Malello currently 10th. Gary Piccolo is 11th. Steve Looney 12th. Scott Schroyer 13th. Frank Divens 14th, Craig Meyer 15th, and John Wall, he's your current bubble position there. He's on the inside of the Super Chase right now. Tied in the point standings with Bobby Farrell, who's just on the outside looking in. Colin Keister right there in 18th, Grant Wesley 19th, and Jeff Groover rounding out your top 20. So that's just updating the Super Chase standings here. The field is on lap number 44, 20 laps remaining in this big event here, the FTF 160 at the Pocono Raceway. David Day, the number 5, just as we left you with the race lead. Rob Larkin, Justin Malillo, Brandon Lawson, David Schildhouse, your current top 5, 6 through 10. We find Maverick Morrow, Alan Lewis, the Jet Joe Allen, currently 8th. Jeffrey McClintock is 9th. Derek Justice has found his way to position number 10. 11 through 15, we find Tom Sylvain, Alex Davis, Austin McCandless, Robert Balcom. We haven't talked a lot about Robert tonight. He's currently 14th. Steve Looney currently in the 15th spot. 16 through 20, we find Noah Carmichael, Grant Wesley, Chris Honafilax, Bobby Farrell, Jeff Gruber out there, the last truck on the lead lap. He is currently 20th. Jason Justice is 1 lap down, 21st. Frank Divins is 2 laps down, 22nd. Corey Carpenter, some issues there in the 30 camp. He is 2 laps down. He is currently 23rd. 3 trucks out of the event. Taylor Morgans, Blake McCandless, and Theo Stegall. That is your full field rundown here. Less than 20 laps to go back at the Pocono Raceway. But Todd Stanton, all chasing David Day down the Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, definitely all chasing David Day, the 33 of Rob Larkin, all over the rear bumper, almost making contact with David Day down through the corner. Here comes the 53, Justin Malolo. He gets loose in that number 53 machine and now able to hold and gather it back up. He's running in that 3rd spot in the number 53 machine. A yellow flag going to fly here at the Pocono Raceway.
That'd be yellow flag number 5 of the evening. So that'll be yellow flag number 5 of the night, working now lap number 46. Not sure what happened there on the racetrack there, Todd. Not sure if you got a glimpse of that. Looked like something going on. Did you say the 30 of Corey Carpenter, Todd?
Yeah, it looked like contact made between the 30 and the 51, and I'm not sure. It happened so quick, so I'm not sure what happened. We're going to have to wait for Rich to see what the replay is going to happen. So the 30 of Corey Carpenter, I know a tough break for him. He's in the outside. He was into the outside wall pretty hard, so we're going to have to wait and see what Rich has in the replay, as I can't get back that far. But I know it was Corey Carpenter and the 51 of Alan Lewis. Those two were involved in that wreck there. So we're going to have to wait. And Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, really fast on the gun. He is ready here. Alan Lewis in the 30. What happened there?
We're going to keep the cameras focused on the number 30. That's going to be Corey Carpenter, and it looks like there was a little bit of contact made between him and the 51. We'll play this out full speed until we get right there. He's a little bit loose. The rear end comes around on him. We'll go ahead and run this through on slow motion. Corey's going to bounce it off the wall. 51's going to keep it up by the wall as well. Everybody else looks like they're trying to get around on the bottom. That's McClintock that bounced off the 51 there in the 17. No damage there. He keeps it straight. Tough break for Corey Carpenter. He seems to be driving backwards, facing the wrong way. Not sure if anybody told him which way he's supposed to be going, but that ain't it. Back to you guys.
All right, so under caution flag here. Number 5 at the Pocono Raceway tonight for the Sim Racing Association's flagship series, the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series tonight at Pocono. And Todd, we look up at the leaderboard here in the lap counter. 47 laps of 64 on the board. These guys probably inside the pit window from here for as far as making it on fuel and tires. But the thing you keep in the back of your mind with this series, the prospect of overtime always looms.
Now having a little bit of a mic difficulty here. Pressing the mute button on my microphone does not work here, and I'm going to have to repeat myself once again. But, you know, the prospect of overtime, we got 17 laps left of the 64, but you can have that overtime. You want to make sure you pack enough fuel inside that truck. Maybe take tires and make sure if there's not another yellow flag, there won't be no overtime. But it looms around that corner. You know, overtime. I mean, you got to make sure you have enough fuel. You got to make sure you have tires. That plays a key benefactor and a key role there, Phil, if you get into overtime. So hopefully we don't get into overtime, but it always makes things interesting for the viewers, makes things interesting for us if we do get into one of those 3 overtime sessions that we could get.
No, we certainly can, but you talk about overtime. You talk about putting on a show for a fans. Well, how about a crowd pleaser we bring into the conversation right now? Guy we haven't talked to here in a couple of months, saw him in the month of November. The last time we went to FTF Racing for their championship night, we crowned David Schildhouse a championship here in late November. And David making a rare appearance here on the racetrack here tonight. And good to have him aboard here on DRTV this evening. David, fill the cast, my friend. You got your ears on.
Yes, sir. I've been waiting for this moment all night.
I know you have. I know we talked to you pre-race and had the chance under these yellow flags here. We've had quite a fair share here at Pocono, but I think it's something you expect here. I know we talked about it here earlier on amongst ourselves and also with Jason. I'm sure you'll probably agree as a guy who's been around for a long time. Have we ever seen a track in the whole NR community through the years that has gobbled up more equipment than Turn 3 at Pocono?
If there is, I can't recall what it is. It's unique. The whole track's unique, but Turn 3 itself is it's a very, very big challenge for a lot of guys. I mean, all skill levels struggle with it, and you see here tonight what's going on out there. It's just hard, but that's what makes it fun for the guys that really like that kind of challenge. This is the track that brings the cream to the top, and you look amongst this field, and you got a lot of big names up here. I'm trying to catch these guys.
Well, and I always got to talk about that. A guy coming from the FTF Racing stable, the defending champion of the series, a guy who, races some of the top competition week in and week out over here. You come out to a place like the SRA 711 Super Truck Series here tonight, and you look up and down this leaderboard, and the guys that have, pulled into the pit area tonight, you've got to be impressed with the list that I've got here tonight. It is a one-stacked field we got here. This field is probably 20 cars deep that can come out here and win this thing any given night.
Yeah, I've been watching, I haven't been participating on the track much this season, but I've been watching the broadcasts, and I'm impressed every time I see these races, these names that I see out here. It's, definitely a who's who of sim racing. These aren't your slouches or by any stretch of the imagination slow guys. So, I mean, I'm running, 6th, 7th, 8th here. If I could stop blowing through my pit stall, I might be running better, but that's on me. But these are talented drivers, and good on this series and for the SRA as a whole to have these talented guys coming out and racing.
No, it certainly just makes all of us a part of SRA feel good to see all these names come in. But knowing the names and the cream of the crop that comes into the series on a Wednesday night, David, I know you're a guy out on the West Coast, so the time slot may work better around your schedule. Could we possibly see more of you in this schedule, in this series, and maybe more appearances here on DRTV the next couple of months? Because we certainly don't see you enough.
Well, the feeling's mutual. I want to get out and race more. My schedule's been a little hectic, but it's starting to clear up a little bit, and I do have more events planned. I'm going to try and run 3 to 4 races a week, and hopefully DRTV is one of them that I can join in on, especially here on Wednesday nights. I want to get some wins in this series. I like to win wherever I run, so this is next on my list of places to come and run and grab a trophy. So expect to see me in this 7 truck out here more often.
Well, we're certainly happy to see that. And as a guy, I think, that lives by the credo, if you ain't first, you're last. It's awesome to see you out here as part of this field. And it's been a while, David. I know the lights are out on the pace van, but we're at Pocono, so you get an extra minute here to breathe. But while you got a minute, give a shout out to all your friends, your fans, and your sponsors. I know you're one of the crowd favorites out there. The crowd pleaser by all means at all. So give a shout out here before you get back to Green Flag Racing.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate the time to come up and talk. I love coming out and doing this, so I appreciate everyone that's watching on DRTV. All the fans out there watching, proud to support Vass House Racing. And, I got my Vass House teammate, Jason Justice, in the 16 truck. We might be teammates on Sunday, but we're fierce competitors tonight. And, everyone else out there that supports the community, DRTV for putting this show on, SRA for putting the show on, and you guys in the broadcast booth for calling a great event. That's all I got to say. I'm about to come up here and put a show on and hopefully get to the front. So keep an eye on the 7 truck. We're going to the front, boys.
All right, buddy. We'll have a good run here tonight. And good to catch up with you once again. Let's do this again sometime.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. David Schildhouse out there aboard that number 7. I'm not sure if there's a better interview in the community, Todd. I know we've done a lot of great ones over the years, but I don't know if we find more personable guys than David Schildhouse. He's quite the character.
Definitely quite the character, and he's got an interesting outlook on every race that he's been in, even on DRTV, or you'll see him at the other series that are on DRTV. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing once again already here at Pocono Raceway. Flagger really quick on the gun that time, It looks like David Day restarted on the top side in that number 5 machine, the number 33 of Rob Larkin down on the bottom, and we're going to go 3 wide here down into turn number 1 once again, and he backs out of it. That was Justin Malello there. It looked like he thought about it, but he ended up falling back in the line right around that 4th spot. But here goes Brandon Lawson to that top side. He is now battling with the 33 of Rob Larkin.
Yeah, he sure is, and there's a good battle going on right behind them. The 7 of Schildhaus, the 53 of Malello, rolled up the racetrack and took the 17, out of the racing groove, opened the door for the 7 truck to march back forward. That run's going to stall out. That's racing inside the top 5, but as they hit the, into turn number 3, all chasing a number 5 of David Day through 3 ton.
Yeah, all chasing David Day through turn number 3 down the front straightaway, the Long Pond straightaway here at Pocono Raceway, and Rob Larkin wants to beat the 5 of David Day. I think everybody wants to beat the 5 of David Day, as he's currently your race leader. Rob Larkin starting to close the gap just a little bit. Brandon Lawson all over the rear bumper with Justin Malolo right there. The number 7 of Dave Schildhaus. Maverick Morrow started 26 on the field in the number 57 machine. He has moved his way up to the 6th spot. 7th is Tom Salvain. Salvain was an early race leader. He's worked his way up to the 7th spot. 8th is the number 17 of Jeffrey McClintock, who just dropped back to that 8th spot as Salvain moved around him. 9th is the number 51 of Alan Lewis, and running at your top 10 is Derek Justice in that number 31 machine. These guys pretty much staying single file through the land here.
No, they certainly are single file through the land to the top 5, looking like the first battle that may go side by side, maybe for about position number 5 there. The 57 of Maverick Morrow, he pulled out a line there, and just as we say that, they come out on the throttle. Caution flag on the speedway once again, Todd. Turn number 3 at Pocono gobbles up some more.
Yeah, it looks like turn number 3 eating up the number 26 of Grant Wesley once again. It's tough, that turn number 3.
And I want to ask the YouTube chat box. I know we've talked about it amongst ourselves. We talked to a couple of drivers out there in the YouTube chat box. All right, sorry about that, guys. All having some microphone, troubles up here in the booth here tonight. Not sure what was going on there, but thank you for all back. Clear there. Looks like our communication took a slight nosedive here. Was everybody set?
Yeah, we're looking at it. Seems like a little bit of gremlins here for Phil. It sounds like on the business end. I'm not sure. We're going to throw it down to Rich, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, as we're trying to get these gremlins worked out here. Rich, what happened out there?
Yeah, guys, we'll see if this is working out on my end as well. We had a little bit of glitch with TeamSpeak there, but we're back up. We're going to keep the cameras focused on the 76. He's painted up as an Avis vehicle. Doesn't have a sponsor on there, but that's going to be Noah Carmichael. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of contact. We'll go ahead and play this through slow motion. Gets a little bit loose there, tries to save it, bounces it off the nose of another truck. That's going to send him sideways right in front of traffic. Next thing you know, we have contact. He's going to get hit in the backside. We already know that's going to be the 26 we talked about a little bit earlier. We'll go ahead and move the camera back to him, see how that's going with them. But the 26 of Grant Wesley also involved in this one. He's going to go into watch the machine cycle. Meanwhile, both trucks come to a stop. Everybody else is able to get around them. Tough break for both of these guys. And I believe that's probably the second tough break tonight for Grant. So back up to you guys.
All right. Under caution flag there. I apologize there for the technical difficulties there. I've certainly had a couple of those tonight. Unplugging the headset at one point and just losing all communication, you guys. Not sure what happened there. I think we all kind of had a hiccup there, but I think all all is back. The aliens certainly, attacking us here tonight on DRTV. But, so far so good. No issues as far as, anything covering on the racetrack. But these guys have all come to pit road, Todd. Looks like everybody has come on there and got 4 fresh tires. Going to have about 10 laps remaining in this thing. If things haven't got interesting and dicey here at Pocono tonight, can the wick get lit up anymore?
Oh, I think it's going to light up even more out there on the speedway. I think we're going to see 4 wide even here towards the latter stages of this event. And like we said, we're on lap 53. We got to lap 64 is the scheduled distance. We do have some laps out there slated for overtime, but right now we'll probably restart with about 9 laps to go. And you're going to see these guys pick up if they're towards the back of the field. They're going to try to move up towards the front of the field here and try to capitalize on maybe stopping to get some fresh tires. Some of these guys, others are going to stay out there on older tires and see how they're going to hack it and see how they're going to be able to hold off some of these guys with maybe 2 tires or 4 tires.
No, absolutely right. It's going to be a lot of strategy to watch here through these last 10 laps or so. Do we see overtime? Do we not see overtime? I mean, that's one of the many things that come into part of this series. But under caution flag once again, see if we can't catch up another one of these drivers out there tonight. Let's see if we can't go outside the top 10. Where we find, I believe, our pole sitter is back there. Or not our pole sitter, it was outside pole sitter. That being the 66 of Tom Sylvain. Outside the top 10 is Tom Sylvain. But Tom, Phil from DRTV, my friend, you going to bring that thing back forward? You got anything left here? 10 laps remaining?
Yeah, well, we're one of the first cars here on 4 tires, so we're going to be hard charging like no other. It's going to be an interesting finish. 10 laps isn't a whole lot of time, but I'm just hoping this thing stays green. It's just a good long run truck, so we'll hope for the best.
Well, and you said the first guy with those 4 freshies out there going to restart outside the top 10. We only had that short run there, maybe about a lap and a half on this last cycle. Do you think, the 4-tire advantage, those fresh ones, is going to be better than those guys up front who maybe have a lap and a half of a cycle on those tires?
I mean, we'll see. If this thing goes green all the way, I do think it'll play out to our advantage in the long run. If we do get a short caution, it's going to wear out a lot of laps, and we're going to be short on time, I think. So it's a gamble we're willing to take.
Well, you've got the fresh tires. That's, of course, an advantage in itself. How much does the draft play to roll at a place like a Pocono here tonight? We've seen passing all over this racetrack, the high lane, the low side. Are you going to be able to make those 4 tires work by yourself, or are you going to need help to get that thing forward?
Definitely going to need a little bit of help and follow the trucks ahead of me. Hopefully they fan out a little bit and give me some lanes to work with. But yeah, draft is everything here. I got a little bit of damage, but crew fixed it up pretty good. Truck's still plenty fast. But like you said, draft is very, very important.
All right. Well, Tom, you see the names of this field here tonight. I mean, it is a loaded field we have here for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series here tonight. Going to restart outside of the top 10. I'm sure you're tickled to death to see the amount of great names we have here to race here tonight. Certainly going to make you be at the top of your game, but you got to be impressed by the level of competition we've seen for this series so far this season.
Yeah, this level of competition is immense. This is a stacked field right now.
All right. Well, Tom, once again, thanks for a couple of words. I see lights are off on the pace fan. We'll let you get back to it. But 4 fresh tires, man. Put a show on for us. Good luck the rest of the night.
All right, 10-4. Thank you, guys.
All right. Tom Sylvain out there in the 66. I was looking for a name we don't talk to a lot here on DRTV, and I saw Tom, was a fast truck all night long outside the top 10. 4 fresh good years here, Todd. I think that's a smart play. Why not at this point? And Tom's got a fast truck. The question is, does he have enough time to get there?
Well, we'll have to just wait and see. Those questions may be answered here. He's going to have a longer green flag run than the guys here in front of him. These guys in front of him have a little bit older tires, and we're going to have to wait and see. Like I said, Sylvain should have, with a long green flag run, have the best tires. But it all depends on how he uses them, too. It all depends on if he's going to scrub them off here early on, trying to pass trucks, or not.
The field going to await the restart here this time around. The field in turn 3. The lights are out atop the DRTV pace van. Going to turn the race over to our new race leader, the 53 of Justin Malello. Austin McCandless going to restart on the outside of the front row. Alan Lewis, David Schildhouse, Jeffrey McClintock, Derek Justice make up the first 3 rows. The pace van is in. Green flag's in the air.
Green flag is back in the air once again here at Pocono Raceway for the FTF 160 down into turn number 1. Their current race leader is, and I'm trying to get up through here, the 53 of Justin Malolo, the sponsor for tonight. Malolo leading his own race here. 17 of Jeffrey McClintock down to the bottom side. That's Alan Lewis. They make contact just a little bit there down the back chute. The 51 of Alan Lewis going to move back into second. Here comes David Schildhouse to the top side. He's going to try to peek inside the top 3. He's trying to get around Jeffrey McClintock. Here comes the 51 also of Alan Lewis. He's trying to catch Justin Malolo. Malolo touches the outside wall. Same thing with the 7 of Dave Schildhouse. Look like they followed suit there just a little bit. Now, 4-way race for the lead. Here we go, side by side, almost 3 wide. David Schildhouse not going to be able to make it. Is yellow flag going to fly? As I see a truck sideways there, a couple of trucks sideways. Yellow flag once again. We are 3 wide to the start-finish line.
Yeah, these guys are under 10 laps to go in regulation. Going to race back to the line. Justin Malolo will win that sprint race there. A great 3-wide battle for that second spot on the racetrack. Give it to Alan Lewis at the line. Jeffrey McClintock going to, roll across third. Derek Justice fourth, and David Schildhouse fifth. So we just talked to Tom Sylvania a minute ago, Todd, with 4 fresh tires. He restarted 11th. He's going to be up to 9th. I mean, the yellow flag is certainly what he didn't want to see. Do you think that equalizes these guys up front on these older tires with this quick yellow flag?
I don't think it's going to equalize them. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens here. I believe some of the trucks that were involved in that wreck, that's an unfortunate circumstance. It is going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench there. Now he's running in that 8th or 9th spot there, but it's going to be interesting to see if we can get around these guys. He's got a lot less time to try to get around these guys and try to capitalize on this. I mean, yeah, it does restack and repack them, but it's going to be even tougher now without that long green flag run. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who has that replay queued up and ready for everybody down there on YouTube.
Yeah, guys, we're going to keep the cameras focused on that pink truck over there on the outside wall. That's going to be the 57 of Maverick Morrow. It looks like Larkin right there in the 33 in the middle is going to make a little bit of contact with them. We'll play this through in slow motion as we start moving forward. A little bit of contact comes together. It looks like the 6 checked up hard. Tags the 33. 33 is going to put the 57 into the wall. They make contact again, and all of a sudden we are airborne. Maverick Morrow's up on his roof doing all kinds of flips. Also, Larkin did a barrel roll there. Meanwhile, Morrow finally lands it back on all 4 tires. There's another truck, or a few trucks down on the bottom of the racetrack scattering everywhere. You can see the 48 there. Machines running the wrong way. Divins also in the 9 back there. 48 gets tagged pretty hard by, it looks like, the 96. That's going to be Chris Harta-Felix as well. So quite a few trucks. Looks like possibly 4 of them are going to have damage on them, guys. Tough break for these guys. And Maverick Morrow, I think, got the best ride out of that one. Back to you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. A tough break for all those guys involved. A couple of tore up pieces there, and under the yellow flag. I believe this would be number 6 here tonight. I lost my marker here a little while ago. Wasn't keeping, too close tap here, but we could be approaching overtime here, so we'll have to pay attention to that. But under the caution flag, this as we've done all night long under caution. Important to catch up with all the drivers that make these great events happen while we got these extended caution flags. And let's see if we can't catch up. Happens to be our current race leader, but also the sponsor here presenting here tonight, the FTF 160. We're joined by the owner of FTF Racing. That's our buddy Justin Malello. Justin, it's Phil from DRTV, buddy. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, Justin, so far you got the best view in the house out there in the lead. You got a couple of guys behind you with fast race trucks. You got guys further on back with 4 tires. Can you make that 53 wide and maybe bring that thing home to victory lane?
Well, this race has been a very tough race to pass, and I feel like track position is everything. So we made a strategy call to stay out, and that's what put us here, and hopefully that's what keeps us here.
I think it's a great call on your end as well. Track position certainly a key at Pocono, but one of the big topics of conversation we've had here tonight is turn 3 at Pocono. I mean, talking amongst ourselves and the guys we pulled in here, through the years, I can't think of a corner in the racetrack that's tore up more equipment over the years than turn 3 at Pocono. Can you recall a worse corner than that? I know you've been around a long time. I can't think of another corner that's tore up more stuff through the years we've all played this game.
You kidding me? I love turn 3. Turn 3 is one of my favorite turns. I love Pocono. I love coming here. This has been one of my favorite tracks to come to every single year. And it's been a shame the last couple of years I've been actually at the track, so I haven't been able to race. But I absolutely love Pocono.
Well, you're a good guy, Justin. Strange guy, because I can't think of another guy who's ever come out with the love of Pocono like that. So you catch me off guard here. But the owner of FTF Racing, you guys putting up the title sponsor for this race here tonight live on DRTV. I'm sure you're excited about that. And, you know, why not? FTF sponsored race. You know, the owner of the league up front, I'm sure you're tickled pink to that. And I'm sure you're really proud to have the FTF name represented on the SR8 brand here tonight.
Oh, I'm honored to be a part of this with FTF Racing, with the Sim Racing Association. It's just an honor to just be a part of this, and I'm glad that I can make a contribution and get FTF's name out there and just be a part of this Sim Racing Association here. It's great.
No, it certainly is, Justin. I mean, I can't recommend, you know, we work hand in hand here. All of us do as part of the Sim Racing Association. Can't encourage anybody watching out there tonight who's looking for a place to race on Wednesday night. You know, a great group of drivers, competitive series, well done by all. You know, Jason Justice, all the staff he's assembled here at SRA to put this series on. It sure makes you feel good to see all the great names we got here tonight. I mean, as a guy who's been here a long time, runs a place like FTF where you see a lot of the top name drivers, you come here on a Wednesday night and you see the likes of, say, your buddy David Schildhaus show up, and, you know, all these guys that have raced for a long time. We got a lot of heavy hitters here tonight. You got to be thrilled to death with that.
It's a stacked field. It definitely is, and I'm even more excited to be in front of all of them.
Well, if you're a betting man, Justin, I know we get at least one more lap here. Light's probably going to go out on the pace fan this time, so these pace laps take a while. So, you know, another question for you. If this thing goes green all the way from here, you know, if we don't see overtime, was about a 5-lap run, you're going to throw the block to keep those guys behind you. Who worries you the most that may be right in your interim here?
What was that? I'm sorry, the last part of that?
No, who behind you worries you the most, who may have a faster truck and the fresher tires, who may be your best challenger here if this thing stays green?
On my team communication, I heard Brandon Lawson had 4 tires, and he's been pretty quick all season, so I'd be looking to see if he can make his way up. Otherwise, these guys don't scare me.
All right, buddy. Well, that's a guy who's won a lot of big races before talking right there. Well, Justin, once again, thanks for taking a minute here to talk to us, and thanks for FTF for being the title sponsor on this series here tonight, and awesome to have you guys as partners of all of us are at the SRA. So make that thing wide, man. I think you're going to have a challenge behind you, but I know you're game to it and excited to go. So good luck these last 5 laps, man. This thing's going to be exciting.
Thank you. I will do my best, and thank you guys, DRTV, for all you do.
All right, well, Justin Malello there, the owner of FTF Racing, gonna restart on the front row, so maybe does he pay a visit to see Mr. TV Time, Rich, Pat, and Todd, or is somebody else gonna punch their ticket to victory lane?
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. All those questions will be answered in about 4 laps here around Pocono. As long as it stays green flag and we don't go into that overtime scenario, we're going to have 4 laps to go here. Once we receive this green flag, you got Justin Malello and Alan Lewis. That is your front row. Then you got Jeffrey McClintock, Derek Justice, David Schildhaus, David Day, and all David. 3rd row, Brandon Lawson, Tom Salvaden. They both got 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Those are 7th and 8th, respectively. Robert Balcom, Jason Justice, who had to fight his way back onto the lead lap. He is now running 10th. Grant Wesley, Jeff Gruber. That is 11th and 12th. 13th, Steve Looney, Austin McCandless, Frank Dibbins, Alex Davis, Rob Larkin, Bobby Farrell, Chris Artefelix, Noah Carmichael, Joe Allen, and Maverick Morrow pace truck van. Making a hard left-hand turn down to pit road. Green flag is in the air once again. Kim Malello hold off the charges of Alan Lewis. There's a lot of pushing going on down the first straightaway. We're 3 wide. They're fanning out all over the Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, fanning out all over the place. Who's going to get fried as they hit turn 1? Justin Malello's got the clean air side-by-side on back between Alan Lewis and Jeffrey McClintock. 3 wide behind him. David Day in the middle. David Schildhaus down low. Derek just up high. Contact trucks going around down the Long Pond stretch.
All the Total carnage, and here comes David Schildhouse down to the bottom side, and that's the number 7 machine. He's fighting with David Day for the second spot. We are going to see overtime. This will be our first rendition of the green-white checkered when we go back to green flag racing, but yellow flag is going to fly. These guys motoring down here into turn number 3 before they hit the long pound straightaway. David Day fighting back on the outside. Here comes David Schildhouse. He's on the bottom side. These guys going to fight tooth and nail down to get the yellow flag here, and it looks like it's going to be Justin Malotlo, David Day, and David Schildhouse. So it's going to be interesting to say there was a lot of carnage in that wreck, a lot of tore up race cars.
No, there certainly is. And look behind, you mentioned the top 3. The 66 of Tom Sylvain, he's found his way to the 4th spot. We know he's got fresh tires, so let's see what the benefit of those 4 freshies do. How about the run for Robert Baucom? If there's a Mr. Where did he come from? The 118 been outside my top 10 all night long. But with that carnage, Todd, he's worked his way now up to position number 5. So if anybody knows how to get around Pocono with with a short burst of speed, can Robert Baucom find his way to victory lane? So much left to see here, Todd. But, overtime here. One of the great things about this SRA 711 Super Truck Series, we're going to make 3 attempts to finish this thing under the green flag. Going to be a traditional green-white checkered finish. I mean, what more excitement can you have here on a Wednesday night here, Todd?
Not much more. Middle of the road Wednesday night, and these guys going to make an interesting show out of this. And there's a lot of tore-up race trucks, and a lot of the guys, it looks like Tom Sylvain made it through. 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on his truck, so Tom Sylvain up to 4th. He's starting to sit a little bit pretty there, Phil.
And as we talked to Tom, he said those 4 fresh tires, that could pay dividends here through these closing laps.
Phil having a little bit of technical difficulties once again, and I think it's something going on up here in the northeast with some of our connections up here in the northeast. So unfortunately, some of these things happening for no reason, and that's the wonderful world of the World Wide Web. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time Rich Patton, who has the replay queued up, and I'm sure this is a dandy one.
Yeah, guys, you said it. Happened right towards the front of the pack. We're going to keep our eyes on McClintock there in the 17, also the 51 on the outside. Looks like there's a little bumping and banging going on coming off the corners. Shortly after we get going, looks like the 5 of David Day also made a little bit of contact. That's going to send McClintock sideways right in front of the field. Let's see if we can't come up and get a little bit better picture on this one. Going to get us a little closer. We'll run this through full speed or through slow motion again. A little bit of air time there. We also see towards the back to 40. That's going to be Lawson. He's going to do some rolling off to the right side of your screen. Next thing you know, we've got 2 more trucks right there in the middle. That's going to be, looks like the 16 possibly. The 47's also involved. Frank Divens in the wash cycle. There's a roof surfer going by right there. That's going to be the 40 of Lawson. Tough break for a bunch of trucks. This happened right close to the front of the pack, and there's a lot of trucks involved, which completely changed the whole field of racing for the end of this. So this is going to get pretty interesting, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, those are names inside the top 10, or even inside the top 5 there, Todd. Jeffrey McClintock, Jason Justice, Alan Lewis, Brandon Lawson, all those guys tore up. That turns this field upside down. The constants we've seen, Malello, David Day, David Schildhouse, but now you bring more names into the equation. Sylvain there with fresh tires. Robert Baucom is there. We know Robert knows his way around. Can Rob Larkin Jr., we haven't talked, we talked to Rob earlier here tonight. We haven't seen Rob Allard in this community for a long time. Can he find the upset in the victory lane? Can Maverick Morrow make it a 4th victory on the season? So this race can truly be won anywhere inside the top 10, but that wild card, green-white checker, Todd, it's already been exciting. Could it possibly get more exciting? I think so.
Oh, it's definitely going to get more exciting. Green-white checkered finish, why not? These guys, 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, 66, 40 of Brandon Lawson's, unfortunately, was roof surfing, as Rich was saying. But you got Robert Baucom up here. You got David Day. David Day, I believe, took 2 fresh Goodyear Eagles, just 2. And Justin Malello, who stayed out for that track position, he's sitting pretty as the current race leader. So we're going to have to wait and see if he's able to hold off challenges from David Day. In that number 5 machine, now you got David Schellhaus in the number 7. He's right there. Do not count him out in that number 7 machine, as he's right there lurking in the wing. And he was able to keep pace with these guys before this initial yellow flag came out. But I'm not sure with some of these other trucks. It's unfortunate some of these other trucks got tore up pretty good. I mean, you got the number 33, Rob Larkin. He's right there. The 57 and the 26, Maverick Morrow, and the 26 of Grant Wesley. And then you got the number 76 of Noah Carmichael. He's worked his way up to 9th and 10th right now is Joey the Jet, Joe Allen.
Yeah, I mean, there's been just maneuvering throughout this field here, especially inside the top 10. And one name sticking out inside the top 10, a 3-time winner this year. Of course, the guy, mainly responsible for getting DRTV over to the 7-Eleven Super Truck Series here tonight. That's our buddy Maverick Morrow aboard that number 57. Maverick is Phil, my friend. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Maverick, that was a wild ride out there right there. You were right stuck in the middle of that. Trucks wrecking all around you. What did you see out the windshield there? That was a sheer carnage.
Complete chaos. It was just completely chaos.
That certainly was. Well, you find yourself now starting inside the top 10, currently 7th on the grid. Believe you may have some fresh rubber on that thing. The question is, do you got enough time to go forward and maybe get a podium or maybe even pick up win number 4 this year?
No, the engine is killed. I have lots of engine damage, so I'll be in the way. I'll be going backwards for sure, but no, a couple cautions ago, it flipped over a couple times and gave it over a minute's worth of repairs, so she's hurt pretty bad.
Well, obviously out there running for points, but your spot in the Super Chase is certainly safe there with those 3 wins, so no worry there. So what's the mindset there? You got damage, you've seen wrecks all around you. I mean, is it still the best finish you can? I mean, is there any way, shape, or form you maybe even miss a wreck here with these green-white checkers and maybe even think of stealing that win away?
Yeah, I mean, the way everybody's running tonight, anything's possible. So, I mean, people have been pretty over-aggressive, in my opinion, most of the race. It's been a shame to see this many cautions, but hopefully we can at least end it on a decent note.
Well, I think we're gonna, and we talked about it earlier here tonight, Maverick. Turn 3 at Pocono. I mean, this seems for years and years. It is certainly, it's tore up a lot of race cars, a lot of race trucks. I think it's going to be the toughest corner in all of NR 2003. Do you agree with that statement? Because I can't think of a different corner that has caused more chaos over the years than Turn 3 at Pocono.
It's definitely one of the tougher corners on for any track, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, most of the wrecks just come from, people being over aggressive and not giving the corner the respect that it deserves. So, it's treacherous, but you can negotiate it if you're careful.
Well, buddy, keep that thing clean. Know you got some motor damage out there. You got fast trucks all around, but green-white checker, buddy. The lights are out in the van. You guys are in turn 3. I'll let you get back to it, but thanks again for a couple of words, my friend, and thanks for having us over again.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, Maverick Morrow, the 57. The field is rolling off a turn 3, Todd. The van is in. We're going to light this thing up. Green-white checkered attempt number 1.
Stacked, repacked, and green flag is in the air. This time, Justin Malolo elects to start on the outside. David Day on the bottom side. The green flag, green-white checkered number 1, as you were saying there, Phil. Coming down the front straightaway here into turn 1. This has got a little bit of banking. Maybe Justin Malolo can use that to his advantage, but David Day storming on the bottom side. He's going to use a slide job. Here comes Rob Larkin. He's splitting the difference up the middle, and these guys pound off the outside wall. Here comes Dave Schildhaus. He's down to the bottom side in the number 6 machine. It might be the David and David show here at Pocono Raceway.
Yeah, a guy trying to work his way forward was Tom Sylvain, the 66. He just ran out of real estate right there. Got the door slammed. Looks like Rob Larkin was there. Looks like, Joe Allen also in the mix there, Robert Balcom, but all chasing David Day as they hit the backstretch to the tunnel turn.
Oh, David Schildhaus into the outside. Well, we got a wreck over there in turn number 3 once again at the start of turn 3. Looks like yellow flag going to fly once again, and I believe we're going to go to green-white checkered mode once again.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to complete this race. We may see green-white checkered attempt number 2. I'm sure David Day's got to be upset with that. He was one lap away from going to victory lane for the second time this season in this series, but he's going to have to restack and repack, as you would say, Todd. Green-white checkered attempt number 1 is a fail. We're going to be on the green-white checkered attempt number 2.
Yeah, number 2 is indeed coming. Again, as we heard the in-race communication, is that one was not successful enough. They did not get back to the line. So green and white checkered number 2 going to come out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to David Day and all these guys up front. Can't count out the 33 of Rob Larkin. He's hard charged up through the middle. He's been on the top side. He's all over the place. He does not want David Day to beat him, so he's going to try to do everything he can to beat David Day. And the number 5 machine, Justin Malello, momentarily was the leader. Now back to 3rd, but still a respectable spot for the 53. Dave Schildhaus has flirted with that outside wall. He's trying to make love with the outside wall quite a few times down the front straightaway, even into the turns. Is that number 7 machine, and he's got a lot of right side damage. It's pancaked just a little bit. Is Schildhaus, but Schildhaus running in that 4th spot. He's still no worse for the wear. Still able to compete, and still able to compete with these top 3 guys that are in front of him. So we're gonna have to see what's out of Schildhaus. And now the 66 machine has actually been trying to get up to the front too, and he's not been able to do so. Sylvain has been to the top side. It seems like the door gets shut on him every single time. We know he has 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens with Sylvain. So there's a lot of guys that can win this race, and a lot of things that have been happening here this evening at the Pocono Raceway. But I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who's going to show us what happened to bring out this most recent yellow.
Yeah, guys, it looks like 3 trucks all trying to get in the same position. We're going to keep the cameras focused on the number 9 of Frank Divins. I think that's going to give us the best view of what's happening between these 3 trucks. We're looking at McClintock Divins, and I believe we're going to see that number 6. That's going to be Joe Allen on the outside. Anyway, they made a little bit of contact. Next thing you know, they get together, the 17 McClintock. That's also the 118 of Robert Balcom. All of them getting involved, tied up, Divins up into the wall. It's still a wash machine down there. The 57 of Mavic Marlow's in there. Lawson in the 40s also involved in that one. Bunch of banging. It's almost a full parking lot down here. Tough break for these guys towards the back of this pack, but that definitely put a stopping on this first attempt for the green-white checker. Back to you.
Yeah, and it also tore up a lot of trucks that are inside the top 5, top 10 that were maybe competing for a win in this thing. I mean, a lot of guys looking for their first win of the year in this series. I mean, Rob Larkin making a rare start. David Schildhaus making a rare start up in this field. But you get the likes of Justin Malello. He's winless on the year. Tom Sylvain. Alan Lewis, I mean, just made his return to sim racing. He is up there in the thick of this thing. So, I mean, you look at these names here, Todd. It is heavy names, but of all guys who have yet to win a race here, haven't raced a lot in 2017, by way of stealing a win here tonight, they may punch their way into the Super Chase here in a couple of months.
Yeah, definitely going to be able to punch their way just by picking up a win here at Pocono Raceway. They punch their way to that Super Chase and be able to compete for the prizes that they got going on here at the SRA 711 series, and a lot of good prizes, a lot of good sponsors on board here for the 711 Super Truck. So just have to wait and see who's going to be able to punch their ticket, who's going to claim fame here tonight at the Pocono Raceway, who's going to host that trophy at the end of this show.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see his VO8 lights to go out atop a DRTV pace fan. I think it's going to be at least, maybe one more time around since we get back to green flag racing for green-white checkered attempt number 2. Some long caution flags here at the Pocono Raceway tonight. This racetrack has gobbled up a lot of machines here tonight. A lot of race trucks out behind the wall. I mean, the Pulsar, Taylor Morgan's, was aboard that group. Blake Michaelis out of the race. Theo Stegall had a good truck. Corey Carpenter, who was fast early. Chris Artefelax. Brandon Lawson with a destroyed race truck 1 lap down. Frank Divins. All guys with fast race trucks. Those guys all out of the wall and out of this event. But you look to the front of this field where we currently sit. David Day, your current race leader. Rob Larkin, the 33. Justin Malello, David Schildhouse, Alan Lewis, Tom Sylvain. I mean, these are some heavy hitters, guys. This field, we're not even talking the likes of Derek Justice, who is currently 7th, Joe Allen's 8th, Austin McCandless, and, a rookie on this circuit, less than 10 starts in this entire community, having a solid run inside the top 10, the likes of Steve Looney, he's always solid. It's a guy who goes out there and runs his race. He's found his way to the top 10. With these green-white checkered finishes, Todd, you're going to see a lot of, aggressive maneuvering toward the middle part of this, up near the front. So it's going to bring guys like Steve Looney, maybe even Jeffrey McClintock, guys outside the top 10. It can relegate these guys to a good finish.
Yeah, definitely can relegate those guys to a good finish and be able to be in that top 5 and be able to actually get a win here tonight, maybe even. And a lot of those guys just run their own race and run at their own risk kind of ordeal, miss the big wrecks and try to be there towards the end. And sometimes when you miss those big wrecks, you're going to be out there in the race lead. It looks like maybe the lights will extinguish this time, but I'm going to have to wait and see if they indeed do so. And I believe, yes, they indeed are extinguished atop the DRTV pace van, and we're getting ready to go back to green-white checkered attempt number 2 here at the Pocono Raceway. The FTF 160 live here on DRTV.
Yeah, and of course, DRTV, the home of DRTV, DRLnetwork.com. So head over there, check out the full schedule. So many great races coming up. The very first trip for DRTV to the Fast Track Elite Sim Racing League. That's coming up 2 nights from now on Friday night, 9 p.m. start time, and the full schedule of events, DRLnetwork.com. Check out our broadcast rates. Custom fit to fit all your league's needs. No league too big or too small. Get your league in the big time. If you're not on DRTV, well, your league is just not a part of the big league. So showcase all the great things you got going on here. Get Rich, Todd, myself, and even Joe, if he's available, get the 4 of us over to your place and, put your show on your league in the bright lights as only DRTV can. So, of course, the DRTV home, DRLnetwork.com. These guys in the YouTube chat box here tonight, Todd, these guys have been lighting it up all night long, but I want to pose the question to them now. Who is going to find their way to victory lane? Guys in the chat box, who do you think? Green-white checkered attempt number 2. Who's going to pull this thing to victory lane? I'll ask you first here, Todd. I mean, we may have one more attempt at this thing, but who's going to go to victory lane?
Well, I'm not. I don't like to pick anybody. I don't like to give the black cloud to somebody, but I think somebody that could fend off the black cloud is. I'm gonna go. I know. I like to pick David Day, but every time I pick him, he wrecks. So we're gonna go with the 33. Hopefully, I didn't jinx the 33 of Rob Larkin. Larkin's knocked off the cobwebs. He's running second. He wants to beat David Day, and that's half the battle. So I'm gonna go with Rob Larkin.
I think that's a good pick. We're going to find out here. Green-white checkered attempt number 2. The van has found its way to pit road. The truck's in the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. David Day doesn't come up to speed. Not sure what happened there, if he missed a shift, but issues there for the 5 truck coming up to speed there, Todd.
Yeah, definitely issues. Here comes Justin Malone way down to the bottom side here in that 53 machine. We are 3 wide going into the corner here. Schildhouse on the way top side, but here comes the 33 Rob Larkin back down to the bottom side. He wants to beat the 5 of David Day. We are still 3 wide. Justin Malone into the middle here. He was in the meat in the sandwich here, as now he was in between the 31 of Derek Justice and the 51 machine of Alan Lewis. Those guys able to work things out just a little bit. Rob Larkin continues to be your leader. Where'd he come from? He's around the number 5 of David Day. Here comes the 7 of Schildhouse, the 51 of Alan Lewis. There's a good battle going on there. Here comes Joey the Jet, Joe Allen, up to the top side in the number 6 machine.
Yeah, Joe Allen is there as well. As a loose truck there in turn 3. Alan Lewis getting loose into the outside wall. Yellow flag going to come on the racetrack. Yellow flag, can you believe it? Less than half a lap away from getting this thing under the white flag and getting overtime over with. We're going to move on to green-white checkered attempt number 3, the final one of the night. So if all the anticipation and the excitement of who's going to go to victory lane this thing, I'm not sure it can get any more exciting from here, Todd.
I'm not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see with all these guys things have been happening, weird things. This is going to be the last green-white checkered attempt here of the evening at Pocono Raceway, and this is, I almost look up at the sky, and I really want to, I mean, I can't look up at the sky right now because I'm inside my building, but I'd like to look outside and see if there's a full moon, because, you know, we say at the dirt track, the local dirt tracks, if there's a full moon, this is what kind of races it causes. The yellow fever, the guys just driving over their head and trying to get positions. I know it's the end of the race, and they're trying to win this race here live on DRTV. The spotlight's shining on them. But a lot of times when things like this happen, we always explain it by the full moon. There's probably not a full moon out there. Maybe there's somewhere close to being a full moon. But there's a lot of weird things happening in Pocono Raceway.
Well, speaking of things weird and, you know, kind of wacky, you know, let's go down to the booth with Rich Isms here. Rich, you got any more on this replay? You've been busy here tonight.
Yeah, this time we're going to keep our cameras focused on the 51 of Alan Lewis. Looks like some tough racing between Lewis and Schildhaus. Schildhaus on the outside. They are racing for third place in this position here. David Day's right ahead of them. They are literally door to door. Both of them get loose almost simultaneously. They both try to save it. It ain't going to happen. Bounces them up against the outside wall. Next thing you know, we have another one checking up. We're going to see him come into the picture in just a moment here. He's going to get down on the bottom of your screen. That's going to be, looks like, let's get him over there. That's going to be the 121 of Steve Looney. We'll keep the cameras focused on him as well because he gets loose trying to check up and stay off of somebody else. He's going to take it down to the inside. Doesn't look like any major damage in any other trucks. 3 trucks involved in spins. Everybody else was able to get away from him. Tough break for these guys because the 2 we first started talking about were racing for third place. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, and it's racing like we've seen all night long here, Todd. We've seen them wrecking inside the top 5, the top 10 all night long. Now you take the excitement of green-white checkered. We've had 2 attempts. This is going to be the third and final one. We've seen, you know, crazy moves and good racing throughout this top 5, top 10 all night long. You got to assume, you know, this restart's going to be no different. It's going to be the last one of the night. It's going to get crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get crazy with these guys, and a lot of positions have changed throughout this these last 2 green-white checkered attempts when these guys have been smashing each other and going towards the back, and some of these guys coming all the way back up towards the front, and unfortunately Justin Malolo towards the back now. But right now, Rob Larkin, your current race leader. Second is David Day, Derek Justice the third. Joe Allen is 4th. 5th is David Schildhaus. Jeffrey McClintock is 6th. 7th is Tom Salvain. 8th is the 26 of Grant Wesley. 9th, the 40 of Brandon Lawson. Look who's up in the top 10. That's the 078. That's Jeff Groover. 11th is the 48 of Alex Davis. He's been quiet all evening long. 12th, the 51 of Alan Lewis. 13th, the 76 of Noah Carmichael. 14th, the 57 of Maverick Morrow. 15th, the 53 of Justin Malolo. 16th, the number 16 of Jason Justice. Bobby Farrell been hanging out here on the lead lap. He is in 17th in that number 1 machine. Austin McCandless in 18th in the 147. 19th is the 121 of Steve Looney. 1 lap down is the 118 of Robert Balcom. And now retired from this event is 21st, Frank Divens. 22nd in the 96 of Harda Felix. 23rd, Corey Carpenter. 24th, Taylor Morgans. 25th, Blake McCandless. And Theo Segal III. Retired from this event. That's your 26-car field here for the FTF 160 live at Pocono Raceway.
And it's certainly been a crazy race all night long. And, you know, just looking up and down the field, I don't want to jinx anybody in the top 5, but we talked a couple of minutes ago about a guy who's been to the front, been to the back, been in wrecks, been all tore up, a lap down, got a lucky dog, and now all of a sudden you look at the top 10, you see the name Brandon Lawson now up into the top 10. Brandon, it's Phil from DRTV, buddy. Got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Brandon, if anybody's had a topsy-turvy kind of night, you've been upside down, you've been on the wall, you've been to the front, you've been to the back, you find your way back on the lead lap in the top 10. Got anything left to make a run here on this last restart?
I don't really know if I got nothing left. I've got a truck to make a run at the win here, but we're definitely going to try to bring my boys a top 10 here. I worked really hard on this truck to, bring it to the track, and we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting. I thought I was done after that flip or whatnot. Crew did a good job repairing it, and we're just going to keep fighting out here. That's what we got to do. That's why we're points leader now. We're fighting every week.
That's right, brother. Well, you're restarting ninth, so you're kind of back in the field a little bit, but we've seen turn 3 claim cars inside the top 5 all night long. That's been Calamity Corner, all the wrecks have been. So do you get aggressive on this restart and try to pick them forward, or do you play maybe a little bit of defense, a little forward, thinking that maybe somewhere in that top group they get loose in the high lane and maybe pile up into the wall and you maybe steal a good finish? So what do you think you're going to do? You're going to be aggressive, or you going to be cautious?
I'm going to be aggressive. We're going to really go hard on this restart. Last green-white checker of the day. We're going to have to really dive it down deep in the corner and go hard. I know there's a lot of faster guys than me out there because they don't have the damage that I have on my truck, but you know, I'm gonna be really aggressive on this restart for sure. You got to. If you're not aggressive, the guy behind you is gonna be aggressive. So you gotta go.
Well, we've seen aggressive racing all night long here, Brandon. You've been to the back, you've been to the front, you've been racing for the lead. What's it been like behind the wheel of that thing? It looks like it's been a lot of fun. Yes, we've seen a lot of yellow, but the green flag racing we've seen, it seems to be absolutely intense out there.
Yeah, it's been tough. Turn 1, 2, and 3 at this track are so different from each other, and it's such a hard track to drive. The bottom doesn't really have a lot of grip, so it's hard to make a pass. So it's been really tricky tonight for sure.
And cold tires on these restarts, Brandon. How much do you think that's playing a role in the carnage we may be seeing on these restarts?
Unlike normally on cold tires, we usually get loose, but here we're getting tight. So tight at Pocono around these sweeping corners. That's tricky. It's fun though. I'm enjoying it.
Well, buddy, last green-white checkered attempt of the night, so I'll let you get back to it. But once again, bud, thanks for a couple of words. You know, you certainly had a tumultuous night there. You've been to the back and the front, as we said, but keep fighting, man. That's what it's all about. And you bring that thing home with a good run. And thanks again for a couple of words, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Brandon Lawson out there, that number 40. And, said, I don't know if there's a guy who's passed more trucks here tonight, Todd, but he's a fighter, Brandon Lawson is, and still on the fight. Damaged race truck and all. Was one lap down about 5 laps ago. Back in the top 10, and he's still digging.
Still digging is the word for the 40 of Brandon Lawson. He's trying to make it up to the front. We're going to have to wait and see what happens as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing once again. We were down here in turn number 3, getting ready to come down to Long Pond straightaway. We're going to have to see what happens here. A lot of orange trucks up towards the front of the field. DRTV pace van making its hard left-hand turn down to pit road for the final time, because this is the final green-white checker. Green flag's in the air this time. It looks like the 33 of Rob Larkin has a good start, but the 5 of David Day was not caught sleeping that time. We're down Long Pond straightaway once again. These guys side by side. Justice way down to the bottom of the 31, and we make contact and caught trucks in the fence, and around goes the 5, around goes the 33 and the 6.
There was carnage all over turn number 1, trucks into the outside wall. These guys all racing back to the finish. All those orange trucks all got knocked out of the way there. Derek Justice looking to be maybe the first truck that's broken out of line there as he hits the tunnel turn. Tom Sylvain, the 66, right there in the second spot. And David Schildhaus in that number 7. That is your current top 3. They are in the short stretch here into turn 3, all chasing a 31, Todd. It could be an upset of sorts.
That could be an upset of sorts. And around goes Grant Wesley over there in turn number 3. He's making contact once again in turn 3. Now down the front chute, down Long Pond straightaway. It's going to be Derek Justice to the line. The 7 of Dave Schildhaus just looks like he's going to barely get around the 66.
Yeah, Derek Justice going to find his way to victory lane for the second time this season. 3rd yellow flag of the night with a green-white checker. That'll no doubt certainly going to be controversial there as there was contact made. A bunch of carnage as they hit turn number 1, but unofficially, we call Derek Justice the winner here of the FTF 160 at the Pocono Raceway tonight. David Schildhaus going to come home 2nd, Tom Sylvain 3rd, Justin Malello 4th, and how about a guy we haven't talked about all night long there, Todd? Alex Davis, the 48. He's going to bring the Lowe's machine home with the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. Alex Davis, one of those guys that was pretty quiet all evening long. Top 5 for Alex Davis in that number 48 machine. So going to be interesting to see. I know Rich hopefully can get a replay queued up for that last wreck there. That was interesting. That was interesting to see what happens. Yeah, checkered flag is Derek Justice. David Schillhouse, Tom Sullivan, Justin Malolo, and Alex Davis, Alan Lewis, Brandon Lawson, Bobby Farrell, Steve Looney, and Jeff Gruder round out the top 10.
All right, so sorry, Todd, if I stepped on you there. The field is going to come off turn number 3, going to take the official checkered flag of this event. 3 attempts at a green-white checker. And as we've seen so many times on DRTV in 2017, the Baskin-Robbins Ford of Derek Justice going to be your unofficial winner here tonight. Looks like he's going to be the guy punching his ticket to victory lane. Win number 2 of the season for the 31. David Schildhouse, his first appearance of the year on Wednesday night, brings that thing home second. Tom Sylvain bringing it home third. I'm not sure we can call that a controversial finish there, Todd, but certainly wasn't short of excitement.
Yeah, certainly wasn't short of excitement there, and controversial finish. Looks like some contact made there towards the end of that event. Not sure who's going to all be along or involved, and who's going to get season eyes for that. There's going to be an unofficial finishing order here for us this evening.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll see if we can't get these top 3 all squared away here tonight, and just pulling guys around all night long. It looks like we've talked to 2 of these 3 guys already, and of course Tom Sylvain, finishing up third, Schildhouse second, Derek Justice unofficially gonna be your winner. So we'll see if we can't get the top 3 all squared away here and move to the post-race show. I think we got all those squared away now. So Todd, I'm going to throw it to you to take third here tonight as we get all sorted out. I believe you got our third place finisher, Tom Sylvain.
Yeah, a little bit of a different placing order for me here this evening. I'm going to talk with third place finisher tonight, the driver of the 66, Tom Sylvain. Tom, 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. The last time that we talked to you, we're going to try to make it to the front there. And it looked like the gap closed quite a bit on you. You got the door slammed on you. A wild finish here, 3 green-white checkered attempts, and you come home third tonight. And great podium finish. Probably not where you wanted to be, and you probably wanted to win this race here this evening, but a great race no less.
Well, hey, thanks, guys. I'll take that third place. I'm not quite sure what the admins will call for the other drivers that finished ahead of me, but we'll take third for now. I really enjoyed this race. I don't get to take part in this league very often, and I always enjoy it very much whenever I race here. It's a great bunch of guys, a great league, and it's run very professionally, and I'm just glad to be part of it. 4 fresh tires really worked out good. Wish I had a little more speed, but the damage was hurting me on the straightaways, so... And it was a tight bunch. Like, it was like driving through a cramped up parking lot in there. It was really tough.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was tough there. In turn number 3, claiming a lot of guys here this evening. And tell us about some of the views that you had. I know you made it through some of them big wrecks there here in these green-white checkers. Did you get out of them unscathed, or did you get a little bit of a clip from those?
Well, I mean, it was really tough to see what was going on a few rows ahead of me, but guys were making a lot of aggressive moves. That seemed to be the only way that you could make a pass on this track. You had to make a real aggressive move, and sliding up the track was just a natural reaction to that. So I don't know. I just saw a lot of over-aggressive driving out there today, and thankfully we kept our nose clean all night, and I think that might work out well for us once the final decision gets called on incidents.
Yeah, I definitely think, like we say, we always say here on DRTV, every result is unofficial, and it looks like the controversial finish there towards the end. Right now, Derek Justice is the winner, but you could end up with a win here on some of these wrecks that were going on here, Tom. But I'm going to give you the microphone. Thank whoever you'd like to thank here tonight. Right now, it's a podium finish, but stay tuned to the website. It may change, like we said, it's unofficial.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, again, that's Tom Sylvain finishing up third tonight here in the number 66 unofficially. We're going to throw it down to our second place finisher. We're going to throw it down to Phil, who's caught up with our second place finisher, driver number 7, David Schillhouse.
Well, not so sure there, Todd. David Schildhouse is, he's checked out for the evening. Was going to bring him up here for an interview, but looks like David had to cut it. House Racing, all the guys at FTF are sponsoring this event here tonight, but guy who likes to talk to us, David Schildhouse, he checked out before the interview, so sorry to David. Wish we could talk to him, but I think it's time to throw it down to victory lane now. I'm sure Derek Justice is going to be in victory lane. So, Rich, tell me he didn't evade us too.
No, I've tracked him down. We're down here at Victory Lane. I'm standing next to Derek Justice in this 31 machine. Derek, one heck of a race. Did you see that finish coming the way it was? I honestly didn't think you were going to be there, and then chaos ensued, and there you are. Is that not being in the right place at the right time, or what, man?
I wouldn't say being in the right place in the right time. It was just I don't know what to say. I just want to say it right now that was not payback towards David Day beginning the race. I just misjudged on David. I know he got contact from Rob there. I don't know if he just got loose in front of me or did I push up. But I feel really awful about it. Regardless it's my fault or not. I don't win races that way, and I never will enjoy that. But I guess unofficially you can call me the race winner. But I don't know. I'm just not happy with myself right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. Nobody wants to win like that sometimes, and you know, things happen on the racetrack that we just can't do anything about sometimes. And you know, as of now, of course, we can't give you official results because we don't know where that's going to land right now. But as of now, you are on the podium spot, so therefore that's why you're here. So we're going to go ahead and ride with this for now until we hear otherwise. So congratulations on the win. I know this isn't the way you want to get one, but a win is a win in racing. And you know, congratulations. It was one heck of a race, and we're gonna go ahead and, you know, let you get a shout out to everybody out there who got you here tonight. And the floor is all yours again, Derek. Congratulations.
Yeah, I just first and foremost, shout out to you guys broadcasting this race, and shout out to Maverick, you know, for, you know, contributing, doing these broadcast races. Shout out to Justin Molino and his FTF group for sponsoring the race today. Of course, shout out to J Rock. He does really hard work with these SRA tracks that we try to provide, and I do the best I can to make it, you know, racy as possible. You know, just shout out to everybody in YouTube land. I know we had a lot of viewers today, and just, you know, everybody as a whole try to, you know, race together in this community, and I don't know, just really, I'm beating myself up right now because, like I said, I never want to win these things like that.
I hear that, Derek, and again, we just take them as they come, and sometimes we just can't do anything about it. But we're going to let you get back to your crew and your family and friends and do some celebrating if you want to. I know it's a lump in the throat to take it that way, but congratulations again. Guys, back up to you. That's your race winner today, unofficially, Derek Justice in the 31 machine.
Yeah, and Derek's a guy who was always going to take that in class and style, not the way you want to win a race. There was definitely contact there. Was it avoidable contact? I mean, that's for the race admins to figure out. I mean, as a guy, Todd, who's admin leagues and races for a long time, just as I have, it's a tireless job. These guys in post-race review are going to have their hands full and get this finishing order right. But, you know, Derek, he's a class guy. He takes this with a grain of salt. You know, I'm sure he's happy he won a race, but, you know, nobody likes to be the winner in a controversial finish. I mean, will that one stand? Will it not stand? We'll let that be determined. But, you know, overall, it's a race at Pocono. We've seen these before where we may see a lot of tore-up equipment, and we certainly saw our fair share of that here tonight.
Yeah, definitely seen a lot of tore up equipment here tonight. A lot of trucks and pieces going back to the shop. It's unfortunate as Pocono's claimed a lot of victims, especially out of that turn number 3 and into the turn number 3 here at Pocono Raceway. But it was a great show all in all. FTF, got to thank FTF for sponsoring the race here this evening at the Pocono Raceway, the FTF 160. Got to thank SRA. Got to thank 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven Super Truck Series, and all the admins, because I'm telling you what, the admins are going to have one whale of a time here tonight in the next couple of days trying to review some of these replays and trying to figure out what happened. Like we said, all results are unofficial here on DRTV.
No, absolutely right. Well, we'll put the period on this one. We'll look ahead. 2 nights from now, Friday night, May the 26th, DRTV makes our first visit over to Fast Track Elite Sim Racing. Denny Daniels, Joe Morabito, JT Mayhew. A new league gets formed here over the last couple of months, and they're going to have an all-star race here. The very first time for FTE for us, Friday night, May the 26th, 9 p.m. start time. So come check out that great racing action. Going to be an awesome night, and check out the full schedule at our home base, DRLnetwork.com. So for Todd Stanton up here in the booth alongside Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, as always, doing a great job behind the controls for DRTV. My name is Phil Lacasse. I'd like to thank you out there watching, Chris, and YouTube land here tonight with another installment of DRTV live on the DRL Network, the best in sim race broadcast. Good night.